You are about to witness history in the making.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 11 of the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. It's Sunday, the 3rd of June 2018. Can't believe how quickly this year is going already. My name's Haydn, and I'm with Steve as always. Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
I think you've had a pretty rubbish day today, haven't you? Do you want to tell us what's been going on with you?
Well, as in general, yeah, it's not necessarily about that, but yeah. So this week, not a lot going on. Although I was working in Warminster during the week, beginning of the week, and the guy I was with there, who likes collecting vinyl, said, "I've just found this record store." So I went in there at lunchtime. You could be lost for a week in there.
Yeah,
it's absolutely huge. There's a basement which is the size of a house on its own downstairs, and then you got all the vinyl upstairs as well. And I could not leave there without picking up a couple of second-hand purchases from a couple of vinyls I used to have, being an OMD and also U2.
Oh right, yeah.
So I picked up a couple of them, and also while I was there, I picked up John Carpenter's Lost Themes Volume 2. Nice. As well, which aren't sort of film related maybe, but they just sound like straight soundtracks from him really. And then also in the post, what did I get? Yeah, I got John Carpenter's Anthology on vinyl as well, which is all the movies he's done from 74 to 96. So you've got must be about 10 or 12 movies there over the years.
Yeah,
including The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, Halloween, Christine, all those movies with their main title themes. And it's in Christine Red as well.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool.
In a matter of fact, I think Christine the movie is actually on shortly, isn't it? On the Horror Channel or something.
Is it? Well, it's on Netflix at the moment, so that's where I saw it recently again.
I'll have to watch that.
Oh, you do. It's classic, absolutely classic. What have I done? Gaming this week's been a bit poor. I've been hammering Destiny, unfortunately. Soloing that. Playing a bit of tennis as well on the Xbox.
Oh, on the Xbox. I was going to say not as in an actual tennis court.
Do you think my knee could actually cope with that?
No, I didn't think it could, which is why I was just double checking I had the right thought.
Yeah, and couple of movies this week. What have I watched? I watched Salem's Lot over this week.
Yep.
Which is the Stephen King novel. And went to the cinema yesterday as well.
Yes.
So some little cheap movie called Solo.
Yes, I want to know what you thought about that, because I have some very strong thoughts on it.
Yeah, okay. But I must admit, what was really good, I went to the local Odeon this time.
Yeah.
And that was we went in the iSense screening of it.
Yeah.
So it was more comfier seats. Friggin' the most loudest noise coming around that room was incredible for that cinema. And you got Dolby Atmos, and it's a really good cinema, but boy was it loud.
Yeah.
And at one point, I think I saw my missus put her fingers in her ears, because in the intro without Atmos, I kid you not, my chair must have vibrated like someone had put a battery to it, and it was just going mental. It was incredible, but I loved it. The sound was incredible. The picture, 4K image was superb.
Yeah. You sure you weren't in a vibrating chair?
No, I wasn't. But I tell you what, the way that went vroom at the back of that intro to Atmos, it was incredible.
Yeah, it is quite a different opening for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. The price wasn't bad either because I get 10% discount as well, doing it online, and I'm a Premier card holder.
Yeah.
So it was only like £12.50 a ticket.
Do you know how much I paid? A £5.
Well, yeah, we have expensive cinemas down here.
Yeah, we don't have expensive cinemas up here.
Yeah, you got stereo sound, didn't you? 2 little speakers on the side of the screen.
No, we don't. We have Dolby Pro Logic.
Oh, there you go. See, we don't even have Atmos yet.
Yeah, but we have a good atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure. God, yeah. But yeah, it was really good. Finished in there. We went out, got back, took Yoda for a walk, and went to pick up some more some fish produce from my local fish shop down on the beach, which I had tonight. I had some swordfish tonight.
All right.
Yeah, swordfish steaks, really tasty.
Never had that.
Yeah, Mrs. weren't too keen on it though for some reason. But what you're on about? It's cooked. It's moist. It's juicy. What more do you want? So, yeah, and I can't say too much other than I'm working in the prison for the next 3 weeks. Joy. What have I done wrong? But anyway, got a good week to look forward to. We've got E3 round the corner, and it's my birthday, so it should be all good.
Yes, indeed. I mean, in terms of E3, it's actually when we would be recording, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be recording that night because I think I'll be sitting there watching it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, or maybe if we just push out a short show beforehand. It's always a possibility, isn't it?
Well, we'll see. But we got this one to go out. We've just had the E3 pre-special that's gone out. Yeah. With our thoughts about that. But we didn't obviously.
Some of which have already been debunked.
Yeah, but yeah, because Fallout 76. Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
No, I suppose it's depending upon how they've done it. If it's just using the Fallout 4 engine, then it's probably a quicker thing for them to turn round.
Yeah, and if it's rumoured to be sort of like multiplayer online,
that would be a good addition to it.
Because if it's the way they got the Skyrim universe with Elder Scrolls online working, why not? I mean, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think there's still a few things around the corner that even the ones we mentioned, could be released or talked about.
Yeah.
So, how about yourself? What's your week been like? Anything much for you?
Well, the weather's been fantastic this last week up here. Yeah, we do get sunshine up north. We're not like we're in Scotland where you get half an hour of summer and then it's autumn again.
Yeah.
But no, it's been beautiful sunshine. So I've been doing a bit of gardening, trying to get that sorted out, and I'm looking at putting a new shed in the garden just to store the bikes, like a half height sort of thing.
Yeah. Because
at the moment I can't get in my shed because it's chock-a-block with everything that was from my garage. Oh, right.
I just before when you finish, ask me something. I forgot to mention, but
okay. But do you want to say it now?
Well, the reason I tell why now. Funny you should say that is I found this game on my phone. Now I suppose you could bring a game of it. It's only going to be a quick thing.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember when we used to play 1 versus 100?
Yeah.
And that sort of game. Well, if you go into Android and Android and Google, and if you look up HQ Trivia,
yeah,
have you heard of it?
I think I have, yeah.
So what this is a live multiple choice of 12 questions. So I just had a note come up on my phone. So tonight at 9 p.m. British Standard Time, we got £8,000 as the prize. Yeah,
this is only does it about 2 or 3 times during a day, doesn't it? One's like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So they got. I've seen 3 times. So there's one at 3 in the morning. I've seen one during the day, but I'm too busy. But the one I always go for is 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
So what you do is everyone logs in onto the. Then there's a proper host on the screen giving you the multiple choice questions. And come the 12th question, if you get through, all the winners that have won, they then divide the prize money up.
Yeah.
And I've been close, very close. But for a game that's free.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously, they're going to be getting money out of you in some way, even if it's selling your data or whatever.
No, it's all down to advertisement.
So sponsors, yeah.
Yeah. And what you should do, I need you to download this, because what I can do is I can then invite you. If I invite you, then I get an extra life for inviting you.
Right. So
if I get between 1 and 11 questions, if I get one wrong, I can use my extra life.
Right.
Which is handy.
Do I get an extra life as well?
No, what you do is, what you need to do is invite someone. So you could invite the missus to download it, and then you can get an extra life. Mm-hmm. And that's how that works. Right. But honestly, it's really good. The first few questions are pretty obvious ones. Something to get you tied in, like, for example, what's the main ingredient for an omelette? And there'd be 3 questions there. One of them will say egg, obviously. But they do get harder and harder. And we was playing, my daughter's boyfriend was playing as well one evening, and he got to 12. And he answered the question. I went, no, it's Greece. He said, what do you mean? He said, what? The question is, who's been in who's been in the Olympics or something that hasn't been in the World Cup? Winners or something, or hasn't held a World Cup. And the answer was Greece, and he put someone else down, and I got it right. He didn't listen to me, and he lost. Absolutely gutted. But yeah, check HQ Trivia. It's always worth a blast.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'd heard of this because the Midlife Gamer podcast, Matthew Murray plays a lot of, like phone games, and I'm sure this was one that he was talking about a month ago on the show. Okay, like that. It was, he did a review of it back then. I said sort of, exactly what you've said, and so I meant to look it up then. So if you're on it, I'll definitely.
What I'll do is I'll invite you in a minute while we're chatting away.
Yeah,
we can put you online then. So sorry to interrupt you. Do carry on.
Okay. So obviously we've pushed out 2 shows this week. So I don't know if anybody's noticed any difference on the show 10 in the way that it was put together, but it was put together slightly differently in terms of the audio work that I've done on it, because up until now I've been manually editing absolutely everything on the show. There's been a couple of times when I've used like truncate silence on Audacity and stuff like that, and it's ended up being a bit of a nightmare, cutting off words at the end of a sentence and that sort of thing. So it'd be like you'd be talking like that, and then it'd just cut off, and it's quite obvious. But I've been fiddling around with it and got it working how right for us now. So hopefully this will mean that we can actually push out some shows a little bit quicker. Yeah. From when I started editing it, because it cuts my time down from being about 5 hours to about an hour, which is a lot more manageable. Yeah. So hopefully we'll be getting those out quite quickly. I mean, the E3 show took me probably a quarter of the time it would have took me otherwise. But that's just one of those things, and it's also something that's a benefit of now that we're both on, Yeti mics, that we can do that. So that's one good thing. We had, I said before about we had water damage in the house. Well, most of the work's done now. I've just got to wait until next week, not this week coming, the one after, for the lino to be installed in my bathroom, and then everything's done. So it's looking really quite nice. Picked up a 2 disc Blu-ray set of The Thing with Kurt Russell and the prequel. So I started watching the prequel.
So is it a 2 disc as in one for each movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so it's both films. So I'm watching the prequel first, but I've only managed to get part of the way through. Then I had to get distracted by something else. So I'm planning on, just having one night where I just sit and watch that. And also this week, I went to the cinema twice in one day in separate.
Yeah, I still say you can't. I still say that's something you just don't do. Sorry, but there you go.
Well, it was one of those things of I'd promised my son we'd go and see Solo.
Yeah.
So I took him, and as it happened, I'd arranged a night out with my mate, who lives a few miles away from me, and we always meet up at Catterick Cinema, because it's like halfway between for both of us.
Yeah.
And I went to see Infinity War, the Avengers.
So that must have been about, between the two movies, that must have been about 5 hours, 5.5 hours of film, wasn't it?
About 5.5, 6 hours of film.
Yeah,
in one day.
That's what I'm saying. It's too overwhelming when you've got such a.
No, it wasn't, because it wasn't consecutive.
Yeah.
I went to see one in the morning, went home, did my normal day stuff, and then went to see one at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So, it spaced it out well enough.
Yeah.
But I just had to have 2 lots of McDonald's that day,
Oh God. I'll be thinking of the calories. That's God, dear, that's awful.
Yeah, but one of them was a breakfast.
Yeah, but that's. What did you have? Go on.
I had. Can't remember. It was egg McMuffin.
Okay, that's about 376 calories then. Okay.
Yeah.
And then a burger will be about 1,000. So you're close.
No, it's not. It's 600.
What, for the burger meal? Really?
For the for the quarter-pounder burger, yeah. Probably by the time you had to do the whole lot. But
Yeah.
I didn't have any dinner. I had it was like a semi-late lunch. Or late breakfast. It was about, I don't know, 9:30ish. I had breakfast at McDonald's. Then went to the cinema at 10:15. Watched a movie. Came home. Did my stuff. Went out on a night, and then I had something else to eat. So in reality, I had actually had less than my allocation of calories in that day.
Yeah.
But I was still full. But no, I really enjoyed it. Actually, it kind of reminded me being much younger when I used to go and do that sort of stuff as well.
Do
go to
what you want.
Films. Yeah. Well, because obviously it's been half term, kids been off. Well,
it's funny, yeah, because I must admit, I tell you what, one of the trailers blew my socks off in that cinema today, but only because of how loud it was, and because trying to book your tickets and what seats you're at, we were quite not close to the screen. We're still on the slope going down.
Yeah.
But when we saw again the trailer for the new Jurassic Park movie, I so want to go and see that.
I want to see that as well.
And I don't know when I'm going to. I've said to the missus, it'd be nice to go. We're probably going to be busy Saturday because she's got something planned for me for my birthday. So whether or not we can go Sunday morning, because I'll book tickets maybe tonight for that. Yeah. And we'll pop in and go and see it.
Just a shame that you live 5 hours away, otherwise we could have gone to the cinema and all.
Yeah. Well, my cinema is 15 minutes down the road on the quick route.
Yeah, same with mine as well.
NCP outside. But yeah, because it's ironically that on my birthday, which is Saturday, Jurassic Park is 25 years old. To the day.
Yeah.
That was the UK release for it in 1993, I think it was. If you work out your 25 years. But how time flies.
Yeah, well, I remember, going to the cinema, and that was the first time that you ever saw graphics like that, and it was sort of like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember. Yeah, I think I went to an Odeon in Bracknell near Reading at the time, where I went to see it. But yeah, no, it's crazy times.
Absolutely. So, anything else for the intro?
No, I think we could swiftly move on.
Okay, well, in that case then. I forgot to say, I also have invested in Game Pass as well, because I did get a free month with my my Xbox, so I've used that to be able to play State of Decay.
Do you know, I really haven't had a chance to sit down with that yet, so it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on that, because I've had mixed reviews and...
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been the normal, Microsoft bashing with it as well. But
exactly, yeah,
but you just don't take notice of people who do that. You've got to be objective. So, I'll give you my view on it, because I'm not saying it's all singing and rosy either. I'm not going to be all Xbox fanboyish over it, but I'll tell you what I think of it shortly. So in that case, we'll move on for gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so gaming this week. Shall we do some news first off?
Yep.
Just a brief bit of news. E3's just around the corner, and there are some confirmed things that we can look forward to. Some of which we touched on, more gently, I think, on our E3 special, which is available for you to download. But we now know, despite the fact that we hadn't had it confirmed when we recorded that, but it's going to be Fallout 76. So presumably that's going to be Vault 76.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, with no apostrophe in Assassins. Anthem's obviously going to be there.
And Assassin's Creed, obviously you can guess what era that is.
Yes.
On Odyssey. Just thought you were going to say anything there about that, but...
it's all sort of like Spartan and Romans, isn't it?
Greece, isn't it? Sort of Greece times, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a good one, but I really do wish that they would do an Assassin's Creed of, either Japan, feudal Japan or China. I think that would be a good one. I know that they've sort of touched on that on the 2D platformer game, but proper, a proper release would be really good. It's been confirmed that Anthem's going to be there, Battlefield 5's going to be there, there's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is not going to have a campaign mode.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really rubbish thing.
They are going to have, they are on the back flip side of that, shall I say, they're going to have a sort of a campaign built into the zombie mode, aren't they?
Yeah, the zombie mode's a bit more campaignish, but I think that they've been going that way for a while. To be honest, what I wish that they would do with COD now is just actually produce three things, either an online multiplayer, a story, and the zombie pack as separate entities entirely.
Yeah.
I think that would work better, because I actually quite like zombies, but not many people play it.
No, I must admit, I might be quite interested. It depends what else is announced, but I wouldn't mind giving it a go this year.
Well, we can have a look. There's Destiny 2 Comet release, which is going to be the new year 2 of Destiny 2.
And there's going to be a live stream. I think it's this Tuesday.
Yeah.
To do with the road ahead.
Yeah, because isn't this new one going to be doing new things that have not been seen in the game before?
Apparently so. There's also they're giving us more stuff to play with as well, some new exotics, and they're tweaking what you can do with them and with the armour and stuff, so there's all plenty to go around. There's not going to be a sequel, as some people may have thought. That won't be for another year yet, at least.
What, Destiny 2 Part 2?
Yeah. Well, it'd be Destiny 3, wouldn't it, then?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know why people seem to want to mock it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're either... this is no disrespect to the people we know, but I think it's sort of very short-sightedness in the game, because compared to, say, a lot of games that are broken when they're released and how they're not fixed, Bungie do quite a bit to try and keep the community pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, they've made mistakes in the past. There's no doubt about
that. They've been rectifying those mistakes as well in the last 6 months.
Yeah, but you do know that Bungie have an as yet unnamed new game coming out.
Well, they've joined with another developer for something else.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that Destiny's dead. I'm sure we'll hear the tweets and trolling that'll be around. No, Destiny's still here to stay.
Yeah, well, Destiny's supposed to have like a 10-year plan, isn't it? Originally. Mind you, having said that, though, so was Skylanders, and that seems to have died a death now.
Yeah, I think the community is so big with Destiny still that it's got a lot of life in it.
The thing is with Destiny is it's one of those games that you pick up, you play for a while, then you go away and do something else, and then you come back at the next update.
Unless you're
Apart
like
from a very small hardcore number of people.
Yeah. You know, because I'm still going through the Curse of Osiris, getting all the weapons for that. And I had to do for a while. I couldn't find any more boxes to open where you got certain things to collect to put in the box to get the weapon forged and stuff like that. And I've just done another one where I've got to go and do a mission on Mercury now again. So I'll have to do one of those to get to the end, and then that will give me the weapon that will get forged. So I'm about 4 or 5 weapons in at the moment. So still.
I haven't even done the first one yet.
But it's not hard because what a lot of the stuff you do for that is doing stuff you play in Destiny to get the drops, which you convert into blue drops, which then get converted into the box to get the forged weapon. So it's pretty good to do. But
now you'll have to give me a bit of a guide on how to do it because I have no idea. But what I have been doing is I've on Destiny, because I've been playing that this week as well, and I'll just mention it here because it's the best place for it. I've actually completed the campaign on the Warlock for the main story. So, you know, I've unlocked all of that now. And, you know, so I've got the DLC to do on the Xbox for that. But I've also started on the PC, picking up my PC character, which had got very, very small amount in.
Well, I think then you should give Glyn a shout because he's been playing it on PC.
Oh, has he?
With one of his friends. They've been playing it together and they get a little bit lost occasionally.
Yeah.
So Glyn could do with probably a hand there. If he's still playing it, give him a shout. Yeah,
in that case, then Glyn, you know, send us a message because I know that you'll be listening to the show. So, and we'll get together and we'll have a game of that because, it's good.
I'll give him. I'm sure I'll speak to him next week, so I'll give him a nudge as well.
yeah, definitely. So moving on from Destiny, then we've got Death Standing is supposedly going to be making an appearance with evidently some live footage. I'm quite surprised at this. That it's rumoured that they're going to be showing some gameplay.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they decide to give it a release date.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there is a few of their games that will need dates given. Maybe they're too, you know, because everyone was thinking, oh, wait for PlayStation, the next PlayStation, but that's not coming for 3 years now. It's been confirmed. So that's 2021. So all these games should pretty much come out within the next year and a half, I would have thought.
Let's hope so. Because we've also got Ghosts of Tsushima. Yeah. We've got Spider-Man that's going to be appearing. I think that was probably pretty much a given, as is The Last of Us 2.
But Spider-Man is coming out in September. That's already got a release date, and you can pre-order that now on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, so they're going to want to be showcasing that big style at E3 just to get the people through. But also, the one I'm looking forward to is Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red.
Oh, God, yeah. It'd be interesting to see who gets to promote it. Well, I mean, it's going to be multi-format anyway, but it'd be interesting to see who gets the privilege. I'm assuming Microsoft will get it.
It could be either. But
I think we see, because Sony have got Red Dead to promote. I think Cyberpunk will be on the Microsoft stage. That's just my thought, but we'll see. Sure, we'll find out by this time tomorrow.
Yeah. So basically, that's some of the ones that are actually coming. That's more of really to be a bit of an update from where we kind of left off, because we did record the E3 special last week when a lot of these announcements hadn't been made. So some of what we've said, has been proven not going to happen. This
is a pre-E3. Remember, we haven't seen E3 yet, so.
Yeah, it's our speculations about what we would want to happen, what we're expecting to see, what we're hoping to see. So, we just thought it would be a bit more of a different, fun podcast for you to listen to. So, have a listen if you haven't already, and let us know what your thoughts are as well. So, Steve, do you want to do the new releases?
Yeah, okay. Right, let me put my goggles on, because you've got them really small today. So from the 5th of June, let's have a look. We'll do the 5th of June first. We've got Elder Scrolls Online Somerset, Xbox, PC and PlayStation 4.
Is that where the bad guys are going to go up and say, "Hello there, Materland"?
I think they make cider in Somerset, don't they?
Hey, cider with Rosie.
Whoa, you got a big sword. We have Onrush, PS4 and Xbox One from Codemasters. Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn on all formats. That's by Wire Productions. And Vampire, all formats from Focus Home Interactive on the 5th as well.
I fancy that one.
I've not really seen much about it yet.
Yeah, I've seen a few clips of it. I really quite fancy the look of it, to be honest.
Yeah. I remember the last Vampire game I saw a long time ago on the 360 was so bad. It was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But we'll see. So on the 7th of June, we've got MotoGP 18. I used to love that game. Really enjoyed motorbikes. Well, that's on formats including the Switch as well. So that'd be pretty cool for that. On the 7th, I should say on the 8th, sorry, we've got Apex Construct on the PSVR from Pep Games. Also, we've got Happy Birthdays on the Switch from NIS America. And we've got, again, another, looks like a JRPG style here, because I'm going to read this and probably screw it right up. So, Nobunga's Ambition Toshaki on the PlayStation 4 by Kyoto Tecmo. And also on the 8th, we've got Sushi Striker, The Way of Shishido on the 3DS and the Switch. And what else we got here? The 12th. Now, I think this is slightly wrong because I'm already playing it. Tennis World Tour.
That's on a Switch and PC.
Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, I did. Yeah, thank you very much for that. From Big Ben, which I'll talk about later, we've got Super Bomberman R Shiny Edition on the PS4 and Xbox One. Konami on the 14th. Moss on PSVR from Pep Games on the 15th. Also on the 15th, we have Yoko's Island Express, PS4, Xbox One and Switch from Team 17. And last but not least, we got Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles on the Switch from Merge Games on the 15th as well.
That's a lot of games coming out on the Switch.
Yeah, I know. Well, they need them, I think, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. It is a good console. I was having a fiddle around with my son's Switch this morning. Yesterday. And, it is nice to play. I'm still just don't have a burning desire to play a lot of Mario, to be honest. But
no, that's what it is, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's not just that, though, because there's all sorts of stuff on there.
Yeah,
and evidently, one of the big ones that's coming on is Fortnite.
Yeah, do you reckon we're going to see something from Bethesda on there? Something else come on there, maybe?
Well, I think that Fallout 3 or New Vegas could easily go on there. Even Fallout 4, to be honest. It seems to be quite a powerful little system.
Yeah.
So, we'll wait and see. So the charts this week then, down from number 1 to number 5, we have God of War. At number 4, down from 2, is FIFA 18. Number 3, we've got new entries now, all the way. Number 3 is Dark Souls Remastered.
And you've had a fiddle with this, haven't you?
I've been playing this, yes.
Because I had a look on Xbox today and saw what you were up to. I thought, okay.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea, but you may want to try and persuade me, but I've got enough to play.
No, to be honest, I don't think that it's your cup of tea, to be honest.
No.
But I've got Dark Souls 2 and 3, and to be honest, I got it for like 27, 28 quid. So I thought, I might as well. State of Decay 2, which has just been released for Xbox One. And at number 1 is Detroit Become Human.
And that's something else I've got to talk about, because I've been playing that as well. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Also, and FIFA 18, the World Cup expansion.
Yeah, because that was about 20 quid at Tesco, wasn't it, that one?
Oh, was it really? Yeah, so that's why I think it's probably hanging around still at the moment. And I reckon probably by next week it'll get back to number one, because people that haven't got it will be looking for the World Cup mode on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
As it's nearly, 2 weeks to go before the World Cup starts. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
I know this is going to be hard on this show, because it's me that loves football and you despise it, so I'm going to have to talk to myself when we do that. But, you know.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. Yeah, don't be talking about so-and-so's just scored halfway through the podcast. We'll have it professional.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, let's see, because we got Gold and PSN, which we haven't done. So do you want to do Gold and I'll do PSN?
Okie doke. Just let me get to where it's going while I was editing the notes. Okay, Gold, right. So, from today, or should I say from the 1st, you've got Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia for this month. Also, you've got the Smite Golder Bundle.
Yeah, that was a bit of an unusual thing to stick in there, wasn't it?
Well, I think, because Smite is a free game anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but the bundle things...
So I'll have to just download the Gold Bundle just to say I've done it.
Mm.
So they'll be available from the 16th to the 15th. Is that? Yes, the Smite will be available from the June 16th to the 15th of July. Xbox 360, starting the 1st, we've got Sonic All-Star Racing, Transformed, and also we have, that's through to the 15th, and from the 16th we've got Lego Indiana Jones 2, which is a fantastic game.
Yes, it is. Although I did think Lego Indiana Jones was better, to be honest, because they changed it into that hub style on 2, didn't they?
But isn't 2 including the last movie that came out, isn't it, if I remember rightly?
Yeah, the one that should never have been made. It's absolutely awful.
But we still watch it because it's Indiana Jones.
Well, we just say it's a trilogy plus another movie.
but yeah, that's then got all 4 movies in it, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah. I mean, there's some. To be honest, I would say that they're probably the strongest thing this time. I think Xbox do not have the lead on the monthlies this time. The best one is Lego Indiana Jones in that lot.
Yeah, well, to be honest, looking at we'll talk about it in a minute. If you want to read the PS4 out first, and we'll check, because
the PS4 stuff's all available from the 5th of June. So you've got Trials Fusion, which is a great game. You've got XCOM 2, which again, that's another good game to play. For those PS3 people out there, we've got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and also Zombie Driver HD Complete Edition. I'm not sure why they didn't do that as PS4 as well, because I'm sure it's available on PS4, so it would have made a bit more sense.
Well, I've got that on Xbox One anyway.
Yeah, so have I. That's why I knew it was on on this gen. And then we've got on a Vita Atomic Ninjas and Squares. Yeah, so
I'm not, to be honest, both of them I'm not enamoured by all of them really. I mean, I've downloaded, if we go back to Xbox briefly, I mean, I've downloaded Assassin's Creed Russia.
What do you think of it?
Well, it's the same as I've already downloaded the others we've had so far. So isn't that the whole trilogy now downloaded?
That's the whole trilogy, yeah, because I made the mistake of buying this trilogy, and I wish I hadn't now.
Yeah.
Okay then, Steve, do you want to tell us what games you've been playing this week?
Okay, yeah, so just briefly, of course, Destiny, grinding away at the moment. I'm now 359, so I've gone past that point of no return, where it just you seem to struggle at about 340.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really doing well. Because we had Iron Banner last week, so I hammered that to death. Got all the armour, because at the moment it's the old Iron Banner armour.
Yeah.
And then what you can do is you've got some ornaments that change the armour to something different.
Yeah.
So to do that, you've got, because this is season 3 now, which only just started, we're going to have probably a few Iron Banners to happen. So you should be able to hopefully unlock all the ornaments to change the way that the armour looks. 'Cause it looks pretty cool. Yeah. What I've seen of it so far. So yeah, just loving that. FIFA 18 World Cup. So that expansion for that came down middle of this week, and it's like a new game, to be honest. From the point of, do you remember when we had, or you may not, back in the day on the 360, I think EA brought out a World Cup game. I think it's when the 360 first came out.
Yeah.
And it's basically a World Cup game banged on to FIFA 18.
Mm.
So you can choose which team you want to do the World Cup mode in, just to play for that, for example.
Yeah.
And you've got all the different groups, all the teams are there, all the players are there. There'll probably be a patch for any teams that haven't been announced just yet, because there's still probably a few that haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's the ultimate team, which you've got in FIFA. Standard is now they've got a World Cup version as well.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. It really breathes life back into FIFA. I know FIFA 19's a fair way off yet, but I think on the PlayStation it's really cheap at the minute as well. They've got it going pretty cheap, and the same for FIFA 18 on the Xbox. And if you've got EA Access, they knock a bit more off as well.
Yeah. So
that's pretty good. Do you remember Top Spin back in the day?
I do.
And did you play it? Because being a sports game, I'm not sure if you would.
Was that a Rockstar game?
You're thinking of table tennis, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is just gone to back compat, by the way.
Yeah.
That was just announced.
That wasn't. No, that wasn't Top Spin, was it? No.
No.
But no. I did play Top Spin, but my recollection of it is very vague, shall we say?
Well, it's quite a long while ago now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
So, but to be honest, there's been two games occur. You've got the AO game, which is the Australian Open. Yeah. Which is on at the moment at Roland Garros. I watched a bit of that earlier today. It's had a bit of a look. And then you've got Tennis World Tour. And some like one, some like the other. So I plumbed for the Tennis World Tour. And you got a career mode to go down. We start at, you're ranked 100. So if you know your tennis, you're going to go through, you're going to unlock these cards first of all, which help you play the game. Mm-hmm. They will improve your backhand and how you perform an ace in a serve, your defences, all sorts of different things to help you progress as a player. Yeah. And that's pretty much standard with the career mode. There is an online mode that's coming soon, which hasn't been put on yet. A lot of players to use there. They've got about, 5, 10, 15, about 25 players. They all look pretty good for some of the guys that you have. You've got the latest tennis players there. As much as also I've got John McEnroe, the bad boy of tennis, and he looks pretty good. And ironically, it's John that does the commentary for the game. Okay. Which really gives it a little bit of an edge compared to the other one. Because actually John McEnroe does do a bit of commentary with Wimbledon every year. Yeah, he does. So he's always there for that. So I really like it. And I haven't played a tennis game since probably Top Spin. The graphics are much better. The fluid of the players and how they move as well. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So if anyone fancies a tennis, I think there may well be some demos for these. I'm not 100% sure. But just check them out. But it's nice to play tennis. I mean, we've missed golf recently over the last few years, the way that's panned out. So yeah, because they haven't done another Rory, have they? No, they haven't got anything coming out at the moment, have they? Tennis-wise, they've really forgotten about that. So, sorry, should I say golf? Sorry, but for having a tennis game now is a real breath of fresh air, and it's great. Honestly, I love it. You can have your. Well, I've gone for a woman player, but I don't. You can make a grunt a little or not at all. You know what they're like. So I thought, no, I'm not going to have a game every time. So I just turned that bit off for her. Yeah, but yeah.
Well, your wife, if you had that grunt. She might start getting a bit worried about what you're doing in the living room.
Oh God, yeah. I should actually try. I'll tell you. Once I've set it up on the player, I don't think you can. I'll have to set another player up to one that does that. But no, honestly, it's pretty good. And Andre Agassi, I've got in there as well, and they look very much like them as well. It's really good. Yeah, yeah. You got some. You haven't got the actual tennis. So you haven't got like Roland Garros and Wimbledon, but you got like fictitious ones with those grounds. Because they're not really licensed as such, and but it's really good. I think it's I love it. I mean, check them out on YouTube and see what you think. Have a look at some videos.
Yeah, we'll do.
The last game I've been playing, Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, I want to know what you have to say about this, because I fancy this game myself.
Now, as much as I've got God of War to play, this has stopped me playing God of War. I am really, if I had my way, I would be Cain in this game.
Yeah.
But I'm not, because I don't want to. I don't want to rush it.
You want to savour it.
Exactly. And obviously, for those that have played the demo, and this is no real spoiler, the demo is the beginning of the game. So if you haven't played the demo, check it out. And
if you've played it, do you have to replay it? Or does it continue from the demo?
No, it doesn't. You start from scratch. But it's slightly different. It's obviously a bit more of an intro there, but it's basically that demo. And I friggin' love this game. It's fantastic. It looks gorgeous. At times when you're playing one of these three characters, these androids, a blink for a bit and it looks real. And I don't know what they've done to this game, but it just looks amazing. It really does.
There are a few games, aren't there, at the moment that are out there like that. I mean, the Planet of the Apes, Last Frontier, had moments where it looked photorealistic.
Yeah.
As did Hellblade.
Yeah, that did as well. And obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you've played the demo, you've got the gist of how this game's playing. There's three characters that we're involved with, and we got their storyline to go down. But what they've done with this game is you don't play one character to see the whole story out.
Yeah.
They're separated into chapters. So you're going to see the first guy, you're going to do his chapter, which is the demo. Then you move on to another character, and you bounce across between these three.
So very Heavy Rain-ish then.
Do you know what? I will probably then get to play Heavy Rain at some point and Beyond Two Souls, because I've got them all. I've got the discs sitting in my collection. I've never played it yet. But and obviously, as you're well aware, you've got a chain of events, depending on your choices, as how the ending of that chapter will finish.
Yeah.
And do you remember the trailer for this back in E3 last year?
Yes, I do.
And there was that little girl, wasn't there, being abused by her dad?
Yeah, because it was quite controversial, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, I've played that part. I've played that bit. And do you know what? I so wanted to kill him. Without saying too much.
Yeah.
I really, it gets to a point in this game, and you've got to be focused, because at some point you're going to get some mini quick time events, but not too heavy on that. But you've got to be on the ball, and it's so fluid as you play it as well. When I was playing those scenes of what you saw in that trailer, and it's just amazing. It is. The third character, he looks after a human, because basically all these androids, what they're doing is they are serving the human race. And I don't know how. I'm sure I've probably heard. I'm not going to say it on this now, but we're going to come to a point with these three characters probably that are going to have choices for themselves to deal with. And the third character, he's looking after this old guy. And should I say who he is? Can I say that?
I don't know. You're the one who's playing it, so.
Well, when it starts and you're hearing his voice, I knew instantly who it was. And I looked at him and I thought, oh my God, it is him, isn't it? I could just tell how good it looked. And if you don't want to know, just turn off for a few seconds. But it's a short spoiler, but it's Lance Henriksen.
Okay.
Who ironically played the android in Aliens. So here's a turn of events. He's actually being looked after by an android. And it's brilliant. I just double checked on the IMDb. Just to be doubly sure, but it is him, and it's fantastic, honestly. I think, as much as, God of War could be Game of the Year for me, the way I'm playing this game, this could be Game of the Year at the moment. It is, honestly, it is so engrossing. If I had a day off, I probably would just sit there and play it all day.
Yeah.
But I'm just savouring the chapters and playing a chapter out each time, so I'm going through. go through to the point of the chapters where you get to the end and you can see the choices you've made, and there are obviously another route you can take to give a different event. But that would be probably.
And do you know
second
approximately how many chapters there are?
No, I don't. I'm hearing 10 hours.
So it's about an hour a chapter then.
Possibly, but it's a fantastic game, absolutely fantastic. And again, this is the only reason why you should own a PS4. Dare I say it, for games like this.
Well,
I know we can't.
Everybody, you're always going to have one favourite console, and if you own both, you have it so that you can get the best out of both systems, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. And this would be a console seller for me, and probably along with obviously with God of War as well, which is what it's been doing. But this Detroit game, it's fantastic. Story-wise, it's amazing. Graphically, it looks awesome. It's just an all-round game that's worth playing. Without going into too many more details. So I'm just savouring it as I go at the moment. But yeah, so that's really that's my gaming for the last probably week and a bit now, because we've been podcasting. So, come on, hit it with me with State of Decay, because I haven't yet to play this. State
of Decay, for those who don't know, it's the new Microsoft console exclusive, but it's on a Microsoft Players Anywhere, so it's on PC as well. Survival horror game. And seeing as that last month was Zombie Awareness Month, I thought, got to do my part, got to play a horror game, haven't I, with zombies in it. So I played Dead Rising 3 and 4, and then this came out, so I thought, well, I'll have a go at that as well. So this game has been one that has been plagued with reports of major bugs and the usual sort of Xbox knocking, normally done by ill-informed people jumping on bandwagons, to be honest. But in terms of this, I've played this for about 5-6 hours, not had any problems with it at all. I know plenty of other people who have been playing it and have not had any problems either. So, it's just, going along quite nicely. So the game has, it's an open world survival game. So what you have to do is it starts off, you have a choice between two of, say, about 10 people to start off with, and you choose 2 of them. They're all in couples, so it's like 5 options. And then you have to escape from an area, you meet up with some people, you drive off, then the titles come up, and then when it comes back on, after the titles, it's your vehicle's broken down or stopped or whatever, and you have to find somewhere, a settlement to stop. So you explore various different options, find somewhere that you like, and then you stake your claim on that as a building. Okay? There are other buildings all around the place as well, and each building has, you have the ability to expand it. So, for example, the first quest that you do, one of your people gets attacked and they get infected with the zombie plague. So you have to cure it. Fortunately, you happen to have come across a doctor who knows how to cure the incurable plague. As these things always happen, in zombie films and games. So what you have to do is build an infirmary, and to do that, you've got to scavenge for resources. So if you scavenge for resources, that involves going to other houses in the area and then searching them room by room. So in a way, this is like a third-person version of Dead Island from, you remember the searching suitcases? It is a bit like that.
God, yeah.
One of the problems with it that is a bit frustrating sometimes is the fact that you have a backpack which has slots, and you have a limited number of slots. You can get bigger backpacks and stuff like that to hold more, but it still doesn't hold an awful lot. So you've got a lot of locating stuff, looting areas, have to make decisions on what it is that you're taking and what you're not taking. And every now and again, you'll come across duffel bags which have building resources in. And now I made the rookie mistake on this game, rookie mistake of every time I got one of these duffel bags, I broke it down to get the resources out of it. But you don't do that. If you break it down, what it does is it gives you some random stuff which isn't as valuable as the full rucksack. So what you do is you take that rucksack back, and that is classified as building materials for whatever it is that you want to do. Because I was running around trying to build, find planks of wood, basically. Or, that's what the icon was, for building my infirmary. And I was thinking, no matter where I go, I can't find it. This is getting really frustrating. I've gone to somewhere where it said likely resource will be that. No, couldn't find it, blah, blah, blah. It was just me being dense, basically. And it was these bags that I was picking up and then breaking down that were actually what I needed to collect and then take and put that back in my base. And then that gave me so many of that as a resource to then build my infirmary.
Yeah. How are you finding it overall? Is it, some of my friends on Twitter and Xbox, one of them, she actually loves the game. She loves it to bits. So there are people out there that are really getting some joy out of this.
Yeah, and to be honest, it is an enjoyable game. There is something about it. In terms of graphics, I don't think it's the best graphics on the system by a long shot, especially when you look at the X. I would say the graphics are probably comparable to Fallout 4.
Is this an enhanced game as well?
I think it is, but to be honest, I'm not sure what the enhancement is, other than 4K. But
yeah,
it looks decent enough. Fallout 4 looked decent enough, so this looks okay. The environments are very varied. You have day and night cycles as well. You have to contend with things like your characters getting hungry, about them getting tired, about them running out of stamina, all of these sort of things. So if you're surrounded by, you can't get surrounded by zombies because you've only got so much stamina to fight them off. And once that's depleted, then you'll just get swamped and that'll be it. So you've got to be really quite careful. You can drive vehicles in it, and which is nothing quite as satisfying as hitting a bunch of zombies at full pelt, but that does then damage your vehicle. So there's a compromise all the way. And also you have to manage the resources of fuel in your vehicle as well. So there's a lot of complications there. Now, your characters have certain skills when they start off. Some will be good at fighting, some will have good stamina, some will be able to do running well.
So you've got like a medic there.
Not beyond that sort of specialism. I'm just meaning general physical stuff. Yeah. So some will be good at fighting, some won't be. But what happens is the more that you do it, the more that your character learns. So, for example, I started off with a character who had low stamina. And now because of the amount of running about that I've had to do in the game, he's now got 6 stars stamina. Do you know what I mean? And it's actually gone to a specialism on the stamina so that he can carry more, or something. I can't remember what exactly it was. I think it was carry more. That was one of the options that was there. Yeah. So you can, there's like this RPG element of unlocking stuff, the different abilities as well. There is crafting involved because obviously when you have to make your infirmary, you have to have the appropriate resources. Just like when you make a workshop, you have to have the right materials there in order to make the workshop. And some of the other things, you have to have the right skills as well. So, for example, if you wanted to do, I can't remember what one of the classifications was, but I can't remember, but like a more advanced medical facility, you'd have to have somebody with their the other characters' appropriate skills to be able to deal with that. And all of your characters in your group, you control at one point or another. So, you might play one character for ages and then they get tired, so you have to go back and put them to bed and pick up another character. There's none of this. You've gone to bed, you've woke up, it's 6 hours later. It's, it's 24/7, game day sort of play, but you have to make sure that, you're swapping your characters and that. It's one of those games as well that death means death. That, and once everybody in your camp is dead, that's it. Game over.
Now, how does the game save work?
Game saves automatically. So, random. I'm not really sure when it sort of saves, but I've not had a problem with anything like that.
So could you go? So if you did get to the point in that game where you lost, could you go back to a game save?
I don't know, but I suspect that'd be it. That'd
be pretty harsh if you've spent a lot of time.
But that's the challenge then in the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. This is literally survival, isn't it? We're talking The Walking Dead here, aren't we?
We're talking that sort of thing. So it does make you motivated not to do anything too reckless with your characters.
Yeah.
Right. You're given a map. The map's quite large, and there are taller structures like radio masts, stuff like that, which you can climb up and survey the surrounding area. Now, this is where I think one of the things is really quite odd on the game, because you aim with your gun to survey the area, and then you hold it on one of the question marks that appears, around you. And then after a few seconds, it tells you what sort of building it is and what's your likely resources going to be from it. Now, where this sort of falls down is, to me, they should have done an animation so that they had somebody with binoculars. You look through binoculars rather than aiming down the barrel of your gun. I just think.
Yeah.
That, to be honest, I just think that is we meant to put it in, but we forgot. Sort of bit, being brutally honest, it's a very stupid oversight that they've done there, but it just doesn't really make sense. But because you can be aiming down a pistol and still get the same level of detail as you would do from, a sniper rifle, which that bit doesn't work. But it functions, as a mechanic, but I just don't think it. I think they could have enhanced that a little bit with not much more work on the game, to be honest. But you're constantly battling against the fatigue, the hunger, the tiredness, the everything, as you make your base more complicated in terms of all of the different things that are in there. You're making your base more complicated to run. So you can, for example, build a hydroponics bay, but in order to do that, you have to have somebody who knows about hydroponics in your group. So that's one. So that's an example of what I was talking about before. But then, you have to have so much water every day and so much of something else. So when you have the infirmary, you've got to have 2 med packs a day to keep it working. So while it gives you advantages like you can synthesize medicines, it's costing you at the same time as well. So, it's sort of like a bit horses for courses. And as you grow and expand, obviously that demand gets increased and increased and increased. So, all in all, I think it's a good game. The instructions on the game are a bit sparse, to be honest. I think they could have done a better job with guiding you through it, because then I wouldn't have spent 2 hours looking for something which had already been picking up time and time again. Another quite nice feature on it as well is in order to stake a claim on a building, you've got to clear it of all zombies and then sort of buy it with stars, which you earn as you clear zombies and whatever. That's sort of like your rank and currency in the game. And what I do quite like is when you're searching boxes in rooms, you hold the Y button down, but you can also hold down the left bumper and you'll search faster. But if you search faster, you have a possibility of making a loud noise, which will draw the attention of zombies who will then come and swamp you. And then you've got to fight them off. So it's sort of like this nice little balanced sort of compromise to your speed to search something and, your desire to keep quiet. Stealth definitely plays a big part in the game. If you're careful, you don't actually have to ever confront a zombie head on, because what you can do is you can just sneak up behind them and kill them that way, but you've got to be really stealthy for that. And there are screamers in the world, which if they see you, that will trigger you being swamped again by other zombies, because screamers don't have any arms, and they'll just attract other zombies to come and get you, so they're not going to actually attack you themselves. And then you can do trading with other people, NPCs which are in the game. They'll give you quests to do as well. And you can also play this multiplayer, up to 4 people. You can bring people in, or you can go into other people's games. So I understand as well, by using the radio function that's in there. So, like find people who need help, ask for help, stuff like that. So you can get people in that way. I've not tried that, to be honest. I've just been keeping it to be a solo experience. But I've enjoyed it as a game. If you know what I mean, it's a solid, I don't like numbering games, but if you were going to give it out of 10, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a console seller at all. It has flaws in the game, but equally, it's not a bad game. It's enjoyable. And, I think it's not what it could have been. I'm a bit, in that respect, I was hoping it was going to be like, the big console seller for the Xbox, but it's not. It's, not in the same league as God of War or Detroit Most Human, but it's a good, solid game that you're going to enjoy and you're going to get a lot of hours out of. So if you have been fancying this game and you've been put off, remember you can actually get it on the Game Pass, and that includes for PC as well, because it plays anywhere. So Xbox or PC, you can play this game quite easily, and you don't have to fork out a fortune for it. But if you do want to do it, then at the moment, its RRP is about £25, and if you want the full, the super duper version, that's £40. So it's quite a bit cheaper as well. It's a more accessible game in terms of cost.
I'm sure it'll come down in price.
Well, to be honest, I think £25's not bad for a game nowadays anyway.
No, not at all. So anything
I also picked up Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. So this is part of the I got it through the Far Cry 5 season pass. So this came out, and it's out on Xbox One and PS4, and it is free for anybody who, it was included as part of the season pass. The season pass content actually looks really quite good, because there's going to be zombies, there's going to be a space thing and stuff like that. So I think that the Far Cry season pass is going to be quite expansive in terms of what it's going to offer you. It's not just going to be more of the same Far Cry 5 stuff. But Far Cry 3, this is a remaster of the original, which came out in 2013. Can you believe that? 5 years ago. And do you know what? I mean, bear in mind, this is a remaster, so we know that remasters basically just up the graphic quality a little bit, and not a lot normally. And to be honest, that game looked fantastic for its time, and it still does look pretty good, even with the slightly higher res textures or whatever it is that they've put into Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. I've looked at a comparison video between the original and the Xbox One version of it, and to be honest, there's not much difference. So I don't think that they've done a massive amount, in terms of upping the graphics, to be honest. I think if anything, it's for want of a better term, dubbed a bit of a lazy port. And if you remember on Far Cry 3, when you got a new skill or whatever, there was a little video that went with it. They do seem to be rendered in quite low quality. But having said that, though, it is Far Cry 3, which was a great game. This does still look really nice on the system. It does, it's very attractive looking game in terms of graphics. Obviously, if you've already completed Far Cry 3, which I hadn't, then you're probably not going to be interested or that interested in this unless, of course, you play it just purely for the gamer score. But if you haven't played or never picked up Far Cry 3 previously, I would say, and you like the Far Cry series, I would say this is definitely worth a try because it is a really nice and enjoyable game. It's got a good story. It's a bit more of a linear experience than Far Cry 5 is, because Far Cry 5 just sort of like said, there's the world, get on with it, you'll run across quests when you do. Whereas this is much more sort of like directing you of what it wants you to do. So if you like that more of a style of gameplay, that might suit you a bit more as well. So
cool.
Yeah, it's not, if you know what I mean, in terms of the graphic quality. When you think about the Gears 1 remaster, that was a big step up. Whereas this isn't, it's like a normal step rather than a leap. But
that's true.
Like I said, it still looks good. Plays really well as well. The only thing I've found is the turning in terms of the look is either something or everything sort of approach. And even after turning down the look sensitivity, it either quickly whips you around or doesn't move hardly at all. So I think that will be something that they're going to have to fine tune on, and I know that there's been people online who have been saying the same thing as well. But I've really, again, another game I've really enjoyed picking up and having a bit of a go with. So I could talk ad infinitum about all of the, the games I've been sampling on Game Pass, but I'm not going to do that. And I'll talk probably a bit more about Dark Souls next week.
Yeah. Is there anything you're interested in? I know we got a bit of a time coming with E3. Now, with what you can see on the stores, is there anything that sort of takes your fancy at the moment that you fancy having a look at?
I want to play Detroit Most Human. That's probably the thing I'm after the most at the moment.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've been seeing, it's funny because I've been seeing a few things, obviously, as I said earlier, about the Jurassic Park anniversary. I've actually, I haven't mentioned this, but that the company in Texas, Mondo, that do the soundtracks, they go to the company, they get the masters, and they'll bring out like an expanded edition. Well, they've got. I know I'm getting slightly bit off topic here, but they went on sale on Wednesday. Was a 25 year anniversary double vinyl. They went on sale at 6 o'clock UK time on Wednesday, and they sold out in under 24 hours. It's a limited edition that's coming out, and I bagged one.
Well done.
But while I was on with Jurassic Park, I keep looking at this new game
from Frontier.
This I keep looking at it thinking, I want to try this.
Hopefully we'll see that at E3.
Yeah. And what I was thinking about today, because I was seeing a video from Jeff Goldblum reading out excerpts of the Jurassic Park script, all different bits of it on his own, sitting there. He cracks me up, that guy does.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, no, just at the moment is a few things that are going to be released. Obviously, it's September. But just that interim period, as much as I've got loads to play.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, Vampire, I quite fancy the look of that as well. I did boot up Sea of Thieves, but I have no idea what I'm doing on that.
Well, you need to come on it with me, because I've already done a few bits and pieces and got a few chests.
Literally just had a walk around the port. that was about it.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, what do I do? Because it's not exactly forthcoming in saying you need to do this. So that's the sort of game it is. I do hope that there's going to be an announcement for a new Fable game, though.
I think it's in the bag that it's going to happen. But it's how it's going to be done, whether it's going to be sort of, as we probably said, check out the podcast. We do talk about these bits and pieces in there. But it'd be interesting, to see how it gets announced.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good.
Yeah,
stuff
there
to
is.
play.
And to be honest, I've got loads now with the Game Pass, because there is a lot in there that I haven't played before.
Yeah, because obviously we haven't mentioned the Star Wars games that have been announced in there.
So I'm looking forward to playing Knights of the Old Republic again.
And then you got the Lego one there, and you got the two games that came out about 4 or 5 years ago, which were the Force Awakens. Was it Force Awakens? No. What are they called now? Do apologise. I can't remember now. Yeah, there was 2 Star Wars games.
It was the guy who was on. I know the ones you mean. I'm trying to think of what they're called.
Where you start off as Darth Vader at the beginning.
Force Unleashed. That's it.
Yeah, so you got those 2 as well. I actually own them anyway.
I've got them on PC as well, so I tend to play them on that now.
So with the Star Wars going around at the minute, with what's happening in Han Solo's shoes,
so we use that as a segue to move on to movies, TV, and streaming, because I really want to hear what you have to say about the Solo movie, because we haven't talked.
We haven't even chatted, even on text.
No, we haven't.
About this.
So let's move on to movies, TV, and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so should we have a bit of news first off?
Yeah, what have you got?
Well, I'm going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So evidently Chris Pratt has confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is being filmed in January 2019, which is good news. The third instalment of James Gunn's trilogy has been confirmed since last year, when the director announced that he would be calling the shots on Volume 3. Now, Marvel is keeping the majority of Phase 4 secret until after Avengers 4. And to be honest, I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but oh my God, man, you've got to see Infinity War.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, I need to see Black Panther first, personally.
No, you don't. You need to forget Black Panther. Just Black Panther's a brilliant movie, don't get me wrong, but get to see Infinity War. It's even better, and that's saying a lot.
I think it's going to be pushed back a bit, because we want to see Jurassic Park.
No.
No, I'm not going to get to go at the moment. We'll see. It's difficult at the minute to keep going to the pictures. I know it's easy for some.
Just go without the missus. Just.
No, I think she still wants to see it. Believe it or not.
Well, look, just take an afternoon off. Tell her that you're actually at work. Go and see it, and then when she wants to see it later on, go with her. Because you'll want to watch it a second time. I can tell you that now.
Well, there's things that happen in it, I'm sure, that are going to be relevant to the rest of the world and how the universe progresses. And I've kept away from spoilers so much on this. I don't know a thing, and I'm staying that way. So shut your mouth. And
I'll shut my mouth. Yeah. So the expectation is that the new Guardians movie is going to be one of the most important entries into the entire MCU universe, which will set up the next 10 to 20 years of Marvel movies. So they ain't going away anytime soon, folks.
Yeah. Isn't it? The funny thing is, though, isn't it? I look at this and think, I'll be in my 70s then.
Yeah, and you'll still be going to go see.
It's horrible. I mean, I'm hoping I'll be still kicking around then, but do you know what I mean?
It is. My son will be 30. And you know how young he is now.
Yeah, a little brain.
So, I mean, God, amazing planning that far ahead. If only governments would do that. But this will also be the final time that evidently we'll see the Guardians of the Galaxy as they are now on the big screen. So it'll be the last outing for them as a team like that.
Yeah.
There's no release date is confirmed, but it is expected it will be the studio's movie release for 2020. And also, this is rumour and speculation rather than anything that's been in any way confirmed. But there's been speculation that the next Spider-Man film, which will have Tom at the helm doing that. And yes, there is going to be another Spider-Man film, which, if it's evidently going to be called Field Trip, will start moments after Avengers 4. And there is speculation that Tony Stark may, at the end of Avengers 4, sacrifice himself to save Spider-Man, and that the new Spider-Man movie, deals with him mourning the loss of his mentor. That's the theory that's going around.
Yeah, well...
Which, to be honest, would make sense, because Robert Downey Jr.'s contract's coming to an end with Disney, and he hasn't got it renewed. So whether or not he's just like waiting for more money but whatever. But to be honest, I mean, I know that he's only a few years older than me, but in terms of a superhero, maybe getting a bit long in the tooth for it. You know, he's been through a lot in his life, and you know what he's put himself through, if nothing else. And he does look a bit rough, although he's still for his age, still keeping himself good. He is looking older now. You know, there's a mark. If you look at him, you know, an Iron Man 3 even to now, there's a big difference in him, I think. I don't think he actually looks too well, to be honest. I think he's gone a bit gaunt, but...
Saying that, just as we're talking about movies and movie actors, have you seen the pictures that get around about, what's his name that plays Captain Jack? Have you seen the photographs?
Johnny Depp.
How gaunt he looks.
Yeah.
He looks ill.
Yeah.
Whether or not, you know, like I say, is he going for a role to begin that look? But he don't look a well man.
No.
At the moment.
No, he doesn't.
Just hope he's all right. You know, we don't like to see that sort of thing. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But all of the icons, they all get older, don't they?
Yeah, I know. It makes me feel even older sometimes when you think about it.
So anyway, that's some movie news that I've pulled together. Steve, do you want to do the cinema releases, and I'll do the...
Okay. Okay, so 1st of June, we got the book club. We have My Friend Dharma, Double Lover, and the Bromley Boys. More importantly, on the 6th of June, we got Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. On the 8th of June, we got McQueen. I don't know what that one is.
No, me neither.
Whether it's related to Steve McQueen, I don't know. 15th of June, we got Hereditary, Super Troopers 2. That's not an ABBA song, by the way. And The Happy Prince. I just got to say, actually, I saw a trailer while I was at the cinema yesterday, and I knew this film was being made, and the main actor got changed, and I'm talking about the biopic for Queen.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer?
No, I haven't.
And if you're a Queen fan, you're going to want to see this. Oh my God, it was booming out some of the tracks, and they were. You saw a part of it. The clip was where they were doing Bohemian Rhapsody. And they were trying to pass it on to the record industry, you know, onto their company to explain how this song would go. And he's going, "What do you mean we've got instrumental music for 3 minutes? What sort of record is this?" You know. Yeah,
because evidently Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be playing Freddie Mercury, but
but it didn't. No, it didn't go well. Did it?
He started filming, didn't he? And he was so disrespectful that Brian May kicked him off the film.
Yeah, but honestly, I looked at him and I said, "I want to see this. It looks wicked," and it looks like it goes right through his life. Obviously, being a biopic, there was little snippets there from Live Aid when they were recording Bohemian Rhapsody and all those times. You know, it looks fantastic. You know. Anyway, I ramble on as usual. Do you want to do Blu-ray?
But just that McQueen one. It's Alexander McQueen's Rags to Riches story. Is a modern day fairy tale laced with gothic, evidently. Okay. So it's not about Steve McQueen.
No, that's my. Well, I only say he is my namesake. That's why I'm actually my name was put in the frame for. That's why I'm called Stephen. So there you go.
My God. Okay, so Blu-ray movies then. So for the week commencing the 4th, there's a couple of ones on here.
Have you picked a few out? I'll have a little look. You say the ones you've highlighted, and if I can say a couple in there as well.
Yeah, sure. So there's Game of Thrones Season 1 4K Blu-ray. Marvel Iron Fist Season 1. I don't think there's going to be a Season 2 of that, if I've heard rightly as well. But that's on Blu-ray and DVD. And Saving Private Ryan is on 4K Blu-ray as well.
That would look amazing. You know, that'd be... I don't actually own it, so it'd be worth actually picking that up on that.
Yeah, well, I thought you'd be interested in that, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I'm still toying with the idea of getting a Matrix.
Sorry, so much goes on. I've picked up the soundtrack.
That'll be good.
In vinyl.
Yeah.
And it's half blue and half red.
Really?
For Red Pill, Blue Pill.
Cool. That's a nice.
It sounds actually awesome. It makes me think I need to buy the Blu-ray 4K.
Have they done one side blue and one side red, or is it mixed up?
No, they cut it in half, literally.
Oh, right, okay.
So they cut the 360 in half. One side's red, one side's blue. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll text you a picture later and show you it. It's freaking awesome. It's great. Actually, looking at that little list there, there's a war film there that I used to watch back in the day.
What, the Dam Busters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my school teacher was I'm not sure where he was he was related to the guy that invented the bouncing bomb.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how everybody always knows somebody who had something to do with the bouncing bomb, because...
Well, no, his name is Wallace. He actually is related, and he was giving us some stories. Now, I'm not sure, and he was quite old anyway, so whether or not whether it's his son or one down from there, I don't know. But if you want to get out your lesson, you've just got to talk about the Dam Busters, and he was off.
No, I used to know a guy, he used to be my mother's boss. Talking about 50 years ago, before I was born, and his name was Harry Lane, and he used to, if I remember rightly, I think he used to own part of a shop that was called Farrows and Kitchens way back years ago in Stokesley, and he owned the shop that was there before that. It might have been because that was where my mother worked, and. He was part of the team that developed the bouncing bomb, and I remember being at school, and I, when you're at school doing history stuff, I interviewed him for the school to talk about that, reported back. I always remember that. That was years and years ago. Because I've been to school for a long time.
No, we haven't, have we?
No, definitely not. So anyway... so that's how I know somebody from the bouncing bomb and the Wallace days. So 11th of June, we have... Now, this is a classic film as far as I'm concerned. Better Off Dead with John Cusack.
I don't remember this one.
Oh, it is such... it's a very puerile sort of like teen good laugh, but I really enjoyed this this movie. So that's out. Black Panther is out on Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray and DVD. There is Doctor Who, The Collection Season 12, the Blu-ray Limited Edition box set. Forrest Gump's out as well, which is another good movie to watch. And also Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, and that's the 4K Blu-ray, and Lara Croft, The Cradle of Life, 4K Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. We've also got Orange is the New Black Seasons 1 to 5 and Season 5 is out on DVD. Suits Season 7 and Seasons 1 to 7. And also, I think for me, the one I'm also interested in is The Twilight Zone, the complete series.
Is that the original 60s?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Because they did bring out, not remade, but they did bring out a newer series of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
In the 80s. If it's a 60s version, it'd be fantastic. Because that was superb. Just going through that little list you've got there, I'm trying to think. I think there's something actually. Firestarter Blu-ray DVD double play. Stephen King film.
Yeah.
And that was with Kurt Russell, by the way.
Is it?
Yes. He plays the father of the daughter.
I don't remember it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
And the daughter, should I say the little girl in it who's got the powers, she was in E.T. as well.
Right.
And obviously, what she's done recently. Oh, she was in with Adam Sandler. She's done all sorts, hasn't she?
I don't remember it.
No, her name escapes me right now, but just if you quickly Google that and have a look, Firestarter. Remember seeing that. Just going back quickly to the month, the week before.
Drew Barrymore.
Yes, thank you. I saw this advertised. I was looking at. I know this is not going to appeal to a lot of people, but soundtrack songs that define the history of DVD, and that's got people like John Williams on it.
Yeah,
that might be worth a look at personally for me. So there's a lot there, but I think the Matrix needs to. And actually, there is a Jurassic Park. Is it 4K on Jurassic Park? I think so.
Yeah, I think that's released now as well. I think that was released. Was it last week?
Might have been. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. There's too much stuff there.
Yeah.
If I get any money for my birthday, we'll see what I can do with it. Anyway, should we move on to the charts?
Yeah.
Do you know?
So the charts this week, we've got Show Dogs, which has grossed over the weekend just over 500,000. Got Sherlock Gnomes, which is about 689,000. It's grossed and 4 million in total. Avengers Infinity War over the weekend got 1.2 million and evidently grossed total of 66 million, which is quite a lot. Deadpool 2 has 3.7 million and has grossed a total of 20 million. I didn't even know that was out yet.
Yes, my daughter here, she went and saw it the other night with her boyfriend.
What did she rate it?
Well, I was going to say, I said before you said, I reckon it's going to be same sort of jokes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And she said it was all right. I know she thought the first one was funnier.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to use the same sort of gags, same sort of style. So.
Yeah, I think it will be more of the same.
Yeah.
I still fancy seeing it, though.
Oh, yeah. I will probably wait. I'm not going to rush out to see it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I will wait. But,
yeah. And at number one in the UK, which even though everybody's been saying that this is bombed, it still managed to get, on its opening weekend, the top in the box office, pulling in 6 million, or just over 6 million, and that's Solo, a Star Wars story. So, shall we, seeing as that the one thing that you've probably watched is that, and that's one of the things I've watched, shall we talk about that? Yeah,
the thing is, we can't get to, we haven't got, we got a time limit here. Because if not, we're going to have to do the second part of the show, because you know what you're like with Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not going to wax lyrical for days on it. But, come on then. What did you think?
Well, I didn't know what to expect at first, and they said it was actually me that said to you, "This could be all right," and you're going, "Well, it doesn't look the right actor to play it," and I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
First, just talking about the actors, who's in it for a minute. Obviously, whoever played Chewie wouldn't have been Peter Mayhew because he wouldn't have done any of these stunts.
Peter Mayhew, bless him, I mean, he's
retired now.
He is retired, as is David Prowse, actually. But it was Jonas Sutomo who played Chewie.
Right.
I think that he's either a basketball player or an ice hockey player or something like that originally. But yeah, he played, and to be honest, I know that it's heavy prosthetics, but Chewie still looked like Chewie. I think he had the mannerisms and everything off. And I know that Peter Mayhew had evidently, really, trained him as well. Especially with The Last Jedi as well, evidently giving him full pointers. But yeah, by the way, he's a Finnish basketball player.
Oh, okay.
So presumably he's finished his career doing that.
Yeah.
That was a bad joke.
Woody Harrelson was, yeah, I know. I mean, Woody Harrelson was pretty good, I thought.
Yes, he was as Beckett. Yeah,
he did well, and as much also Emily Clark who played Queera. I think I've seen her in some other stuff. I haven't actually googled her yet.
Game of Thrones. Terminator.
Well, no, Terminator. Yeah, she was Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, Game of Thrones as well. She's a blonde on Game of Thrones.
I know, but I don't think you can see that so much.
No, to be honest, she does look very different.
She does, but we're not talking spoilers in this, are we? Obviously not.
No,
it's too early.
No, we're not. Do you think it's a spoiler to say what you're going to see?
Except for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to mention about that.
And we'll talk about that off air later.
Yeah. Well, I can give you the background for that. I can give
WTF on that. I tell you.
No. Well, you should have watched Clone Wars, man. Because
I'm not that into the lore, that much into Star Wars as lore, but you know.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I think that anybody who's watched anything, just if you don't want to know what's in the movie, just close your ears for 10 seconds.
Are you going to really talk about this?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to talk about the end. I'm going to talk about the main bits about what the story is. Okay. Yeah, so it's like I'm not going to go through in depth about the story. I'm just going to say
no,
because this for me. What I would say is this is a film. I had really incredibly low expectations for it. I mean, after The Last Jedi, a limbo dancer had been run over with a steamroller and then stuck into a 2-dimensional universe would have, that was how much sort of level of flatness that I had expectation for this.
Well, the funny thing is I've seen a lot of praise for this film. Now, I'm a great believer in Ron Howard as a director.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's come a long way from his background of being in Happy Days and doing what he's done. I think he's fantastic. He's got a good brain and mind and vision for movies.
Yeah. And also I've been watching Arrested Development, which obviously he produces, but the new season 5 of it, and he actually makes reference to the Solo Star Wars movie in there, just on his over narrated bit. But did you notice that his brother Clint was on it as well?
Oh, was he really?
Yeah. Well, you know who Clint is, don't you?
Remind me.
The Carbonite maneuver from Star Trek. You know the little kid that was the alien.
Oh,
Balok?
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Balok,
yeah.
Well, Clint that's him. That's his brother.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's his brother, and he was on it.
Oh, mate, I've got something else I've got to tell you in a bit. Do you talk about that sort of thing? Let's do this bit first. There's something I want to talk about. I found out this week. Anyway, so my expectations, I didn't know what to expect because I'm reading good reports on this. But it was an okay movie. I'm not going to...
Yeah, go on.
I'm not going to say it's fantastic. It was a good film.
Yeah.
But there's little bits there that disappointed me in it.
What?
So, I think Lando didn't have enough screen time and they didn't go into his character really, to be honest.
But to be honest, it was called Solo, it wasn't called Lando.
No, but because of... I think he could have been in it more. They could have made his character a bit more than what it was. All it did was give us stuff we knew about him, theoretically.
Well, Donald Glover, he was fantastic as Lando. He really... He played the character so well.
But I think he didn't get enough screen time.
I would agree. I would agree. I mean, yeah, I agree there.
And forgetting the end of the film for the minute and how that's turning out.
Yeah.
Now, let's put it out there. I'm assuming we're going to see a sequel to this.
Well, I'd heard this is going to be another trilogy.
The only reason is because, for me, the biggest letdown of this film, I wanted to see the Jabba the Hutt story.
Yeah, but this was pre-Jabba.
I know it is, but it was mentioned at the end of the film.
Yeah.
That there's a job going on, blah, blah, blah. And we all know that he gets involved with Jabba. But I feel that, obviously not knowing how this film was going to turn out and how much they were going to put in it. Because, obviously, the way I prefer Rogue One to this, to be honest.
Oh, Rogue One's definitely a better movie. Yeah. But Rogue One is one of the best Star Wars movies. But, it's... out of all
this
of
is
them.
in brackets. This is a Star Wars movie. This is one of the we got another couple of these films coming up, haven't we? We're going to be getting a Kenobi one probably, more than not.
Well, the rumours are getting stronger and stronger about that, and
yeah, which I would love actually. That would be freaking awesome.
I think they should do a trilogy just on Kenobi.
Yeah. But I would like to see a sequel to it. Whether it be a trilogy, it might not be, because I think, depending on how this turns out, the Millennium Falcon isn't really his yet.
It is at the end.
Yeah, but he's only just picked it up, and it's not his as yet.
It's not his customed Millennium Falcon.
No.
But,
do you know what I mean?
But we did find out why it was a different shape in the movie. Did you notice that?
Well, do you know? Can I say one thing? It was thinner.
No, it wasn't.
No, just when you look at the side on the ship, and you look at the trim on the edge of it, on that edge, that middle section looked thinner than it normally did. I need to go back and check out another picture, but to me, it didn't look right.
No, and that's because of the front. Because at the front, Lando had fitted an escape pod in the mandibles.
Yeah, which goes, yeah. But it's, I mean, my missus, she enjoyed the film.
Yeah,
she said it was. I was okay. I can see what you're saying. It's a bit like Firefly. I can see where you're coming from. On that.
It is that Western heisty kind of feel, but in a Star Wars universe. Yeah,
I mean, I think the direction was great.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is awesome, which I need to pick up, and it is available on vinyl. I've already looked, and it's quite high in the charts in the soundtrack vinyl chart. It's quite high up at the moment.
Yeah,
even though the film's only been out a week. I think credit to the actors and actresses and how they did in the film, and especially to play Han Solo. He pulled that off very well.
Yeah, and evidently he had direction from Harrison Ford on that as well.
Now, I couldn't really notice it too much. We didn't get the right shot. But did he have a scar on his chin?
No. But there was a bit where he got hit in the face, and I think that might have been the thing. Because
at one point, even though this is nothing to do with Star Wars, but I thought I saw a slight scar, and maybe I'm wait till the Blu-ray comes out. You better check it out.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. I don't think he did, but I think that
it needs it. I just that's me being a bit anal.
But in terms of this as a Star Wars movie about Han Solo, a film that we were never expecting to see. If you'd have gone back 5 years ago and said, predict, a non-central story Star Wars movie, what you're going to have, no one would have said a Han Solo origin movie. Now,
and to be honest, I mean, I still feel down about Star Wars and the way it's going going forward.
Yeah,
because I think for me now, I'm going to lose love with the trilogies and the canon. But the so-called movies that are Star Wars movies in the middle of what we got as canon, that for Disney going forward, I'm probably going less and less on them. It's more likely to be these little movies they're going to be putting in, incidental movies that are going to look back at characters and some stories, which are going to probably do better.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I seriously do think we should have a movie about the interim time between episodes 6 and 7, where we do see Luke at his peak, because it's always talked about, in lots of circles, included in the movies themselves, about, Ultimate Jedi, whatever. Want to see it. I don't think we will, though. I don't think he wants to do it. He wouldn't be able to. He's too old. But he could be recast the same as this has been. And to be honest, there is an actor who, through a lot of fan stuff has been said, this person would be perfect for him. And you look at him and say, wow, he looks so much like a young Mark Hamill. But in terms of this as a movie, and this is where if you don't want to know, close your ears, Han meets Chewie, Han saves Chewie, Han meets Lando, Han gets the Falcon, the Kessel Run, why he's called Solo. all of that and more. You know, everything that, in terms of this as a Disney movie, for a fan, for a fan like me, it's hitting every beat that I would want to see in a Han Solo prequel.
Yeah. I'm sure I thought that as I was watching it. I mean, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't that wow, oh my God movie. I mean, I got that at the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I was looking at my missus and I said, well, I need to explain this to you later.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to listen to a couple of podcasts. So I need to listen to Mark Commode and someone Mayo's take on it, see what they think. And I've also come across a new podcast where I've just listened to their special on The Thing, John Carpenter.
Yeah.
It's called Film 89. Go and check it out.
I will do.
They're a great bunch of lads. They've just done a solo podcast as well,
right,
which I've downloaded to listen to this week. But they're a bunch of British guys doing, and they're going to do some other specials as well, but they do a lot of movie stuff. They call it Film 89 in remembrance of Barry Norman's film TV series. So check that out. But just quickly, what do you think of the Kessel Run? The idea of that did make me smile.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the Kessel Run, they've changed it from the Star Wars Legends stuff, because Kessel Run was originally supposed to be a cluster of 3 black holes, and Han weaved.
But then again, yeah, but obviously he went in one probably and took a shortcut.
Yeah, but
it was like playing a PlayStation game at like Crash Bandicoot, and obviously in those sort of games you get those little shortcuts you can do. So that's what he did.
Yeah. But yeah, and also the robot character that was in there as well.
That was so. I don't know what to say about that.
L337.
I mean, I saw her on the Sky special.
Yeah.
I watched that before we went, and just the mannerisms of this robot was really. I don't know if it was right or wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, I quite enjoyed it as a character. I quite like the idea that robot is now part of the Falcon. That was quite interesting, but not really. To be honest, not really a spoiler, but you know, I quite like the character. I like the idea that she was obsessed with Lando, but was saying that Lando was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And he says, I've got the same problem, girlfriend.
Yeah, but I say overall, actually something else. My missus smiled when I saw him, and Warwick Davis was in it.
Yes, he was. Bless
him.
He played what was his name? Was it Weevil? I think his character was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's always good to see Warwick on.
Tell you what was a nice
Weasel,
surprise.
Weasel, not Weasel.
Yeah. When you see these trailers for these movies,
yeah,
and you normally get these trailers, and they'll try and show you near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The bulk of the trailer they showed you was not far off the beginning of the movie, actually, was it? Which was pretty good, because I hate that they sometimes spoil too much with trailers.
Yeah, the heist bit is really just the beginning.
Yeah.
And also the bit where he's driving around in that land speeder.
That train so reminds me of an episode of Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm on about?
I do. And funnily enough, the rod strings on that train as well, weren't they?
They were, yeah. They were like puppets, weren't they?
No, I mean, Han and Beckett and that.
Yeah, because they were taking that cargo, weren't they?
Yeah. But no, I think, to be honest, this has given me a bit of faith back in the, Kathleen Kennedy sort of Star Wars thing. And
I told you not to. I said you were worried about this, and I said no, it'd be fine. And say because you've got the director under there doing it, and he's superb.
Yeah, but the director might be superb, but it's about how much interference that they get from above.
Yeah, but Kathleen Kennedy, she was involved with Lucasfilm with Indiana Jones movies and all that, so. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's also the one who's turning around and saying we don't need the male fans and stuff like that as well, isn't she?
Oh, well, whatever.
But to be honest, I think one of the reasons why, I think there's a couple of reasons why this has bombed. and at the box office in comparison to what they were expecting. And I think there is, well, I know.
Do you remember what the takings were for The Last Jedi in comparison on the day? Because I think it was pretty large, wasn't it?
Yeah, The Last Jedi wasn't it about 20 million or something like that?
Yeah.
But in terms of, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, in terms of online, there was a call to boycott this movie because of Kathleen Kennedy's sort of approach to, the anti-male, older fan kind of thing. Boycott the movie so that, it sends a message to, where Disney wants, will be hit the most. But actually, no, don't. Boycott the other movies and watch this one, because this one is actually good. It is actually consistent. There isn't any part of the story that is wasted, unlike 99% of The Last Jedi. And also, it's the only Star Wars movie since The Force Awakens which has a male lead as a primary lead.
Yeah.
So, watch this, boycott the others.
Yeah,
that's what my advice would be, because we need to show that actually, no, male people are the ones who have supported Star Wars for the majority of time. I'm not saying that women don't enjoy it and whatever, but just turning around and saying that they only need female fans is ridiculous.
No, it's all this feminism thing that's been brewing over the last 8 or 9 months.
Yeah,
just to do it. It's probably to do with that, but
to be honest, just so sick of it nowadays. Star Wars never did have a good female lead, and it's gone from the sublime to the ridiculous now. Yeah,
but
the opposite
to
way
be honest though, even though I don't know what you'd call the male lead or the main lead in Star Wars: A New Hope, but Princess Leia was as good as any.
Yeah, she was.
Do you know what I mean?
But to be honest, she was the only female in the whole blooming universe. Until the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? But as it goes, so whether or not, I don't know what Kathleen Kennedy's thinking, then maybe she regrets what she says.
I think it was probably an offhand comment, but
it is. We had this at the Oscars as well with girl power, women power stuff, that we've been getting over the.
We should just have people power. I'm a strong believer of the more that we start labelling stuff and the more that we start saying it has to be so much this and so much that and so much the other. I mean, it was a fresh effect. Each other with respect.
Yeah, we had. To be honest, it was a great bit of fresh air with Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman. I love it.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Do you know what I mean? She did a spanking job on that.
Yeah. I don't think that's really the right term to use when you're trying to be politically correct.
Yeah, whatever.
She did a first-class job.
She did a fine job there. Do you know what I mean? And there is the teasers out about Wonder Woman 2000. Well, Wonder Woman
1980. Yeah,
1980 something. Yeah, and it's going to be in the 80s, isn't it? So during the Cold War. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hearing at the moment.
It'll be Wonder Woman brings down the Berlin Wall.
She literally will do, wouldn't she? Did you want to? So Infinity War. Did you say much about that?
No. We started off with Solo, didn't we? So Infinity War.
Do you want to quickly? Because we haven't got long left, and we got a shed load to get through.
So the latest in a long line of MCU, and this is really where they've all been aiming for, because Thanos is here. He's been teased on various different movies. He was, that bit where the first time that they did the reveal of him, where, he turned around on that floating chair in space.
Which was it? Was it in Guardians? I can't remember now.
No, I can't remember which one it was, to be quite honest with you, because they all kind of blur into each other. But also, you've had Gamora, who's, the daughter of Thanos, granted, adopted daughter of Thanos, and stuff like that as well. And great, absolutely fantastic, character that she's built there, but you still never really got to see Thanos. The whole Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 was, brief appearance of Thanos with, someone else being the main villain in that movie. So here, this is where he turns up, and he also turned up at the end of Thor Ragnarok, although you never saw him because he was in the spaceship that stopped, Thor's ship as they were escaping. So absolutely, brilliant. There's a couple of no shows. Hawkeye's not there.
No, he's not, is he?
And I think that's a great shame because, I like the character of Hawkeye, and Ant-Man wasn't there as well, although he was talked about in the movie.
Yeah, it's still a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. Now, what I'm going to say, because if I tell you the story of what happens, it really will ruin this movie.
Oh, we're not even going to go there. Don't even think you're trying.
I'm not. But what I will say is that this, I would say, is probably the boldest film in terms of story I have ever watched in terms of what happens. Because it is...
Enough said.
That's all I'm going to say. But it's absolutely fantastic. But you've got, the Guardians of the Galaxy appear on this film now, with a heavily played part of it as well. You've got the Guardians of the Galaxy fighting alongside Iron Man and Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange fighting Thanos, head on. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. He's got all but one stone, which is left in Vision's head. So there's absolutely...
Don't even go there. I don't want to know anything. Go away. Is it? Stop now. That's it. I don't want to know.
But it is a fantastic... Really, you've got to watch it. Because you need to go now. Seriously. It is the best...
I have to work for a living, so I don't.
So do I. But this is the best... it's the best superhero movie I've watched. I'm going to lay that out there as as my honest opinion. This is the best of the Marvel movies by a long shot.
Okay. And
I thought Black Panther was fantastic before. Thor Ragnarok was my previous favourite above Black Panther. Captain America Civil War, another great strong movie, but this is in a class of its own, and that's because of how bold this movie is. So all I can say is, if you haven't seen it, go and see it, and if you have seen it, now you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, anything else that you want to add? Have you watched any TV or anything?
No, just coming to the end of talking about MCU now, back to DC briefly. Just coming to the end of that, I've got one episode to watch for Flash.
Oh, you haven't seen the final episode?
No, we got that to talk about another time. I've got a shed load of Supergirl to watch. I've sort of kept them separate, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Arrow, I'm about 3 or 4 to go as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty much up to date on all of them. Have you been watching Humans?
No, not as yet.
Brilliant.
I've got a few TV shows for the summer. I've downloaded Billions to give that a go. I have got a Navy SEAL type of show on Sky One with the guy that played in Bones.
Oh, who was also Angel.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's that show. I've been downloading them. Obviously, there's that new sort of buddy cop style on Sky One.
Which one's that one?
Is it called Bodyguard? I think it is, isn't it? Top of my head. The one with the guy that was been in Doctor who played Mickey.
Oh, yeah. Back
in the day.
David Boreanaz, by the way, from Angel.
Okay. So there's a few TV shows there to watch at the moment. I did go and watch Salem's Lot. Just a quick brief on that if you've not seen it. This came out in 1979.
Yeah.
It was actually made for TV, and they put it into, it might have been about 4 parts, maybe 3 parts, and it's 3 hours long, this movie, if you watch it from start to finish. And it's one of those creepiest TV movies I think I've ever seen. And Stephen King's stories well portrayed in this, with the actors and the story of what's happening to Salem's Lot, with the arrival of this guy opening one of these sort of vintage shops, and he's talking to members of the little town, saying that my partner, Mr. Barlow, will be coming soon. He'll be very pleased to see you. And it's all based on vampires,
right?
And it's worth, if you've not seen it, it's worth a watch. Don't expect a horror movie of today's style. It's very different. The soundtrack is absolutely awesome. It is creepy as hell, and I've actually got that, and I've been playing that, and it's just got that cold edge to it. And the David Soul plays a fantastic role in it.
God, David Soul.
And yeah, he's brilliant. And obviously Starsky and Hutch days, and the love interest in that, who's the character called Susan. I completely forgot who she actually was, and I was watching it, I thought I had to Google it. She plays Holly Gennaro, which is McClane's wife in Die Hard. Yeah, she's in it. And there's a few bit part actors that have been playing over the years. James Mason's a very old 60s and 70s actor, but he plays his role very well as the guy opening the shop. That's probably the backbone to this vampire that hits the town. But it's really good. It was very well received as a TV show when it came out. You were sort of, I think if I remember rightly, this is on BBC, and they showed it in like 3 nights in sections. And when it finished, you wanted to see more, and so on and so forth. Very good show. So, is that brilliant?
Cool. Yeah, well, I've been watching Arrested Development.
Yeah, I saw that advertised on Netflix again, actually.
Yeah, it's still just as good as it was, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. And of course, we got Ron Howard doing the narration of the show as well. But like I said, it was nice having the reference to the Solo movie in the narration. That did make me chuckle.
That was up your street, wasn't it? That made you chuckle.
Yeah, that definitely made me chuckle. But I've also been watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which I watched previously. There's a new series of that out. So, quite, it's just really daft camp humour. Do you know what I mean? But quite enjoy it. As a bit of a diversion from the norm. Yeah. But not everybody's cup of tea, I think.
Probably not.
No. Okay, so in that case, then we'll round up the movies, TV, and streaming for this week. And do you want to do Tech Talk, or should we do the big debate? Because you haven't put notes in.
No, if we just do the debate, we've got an hour, maybe less actually. Okay. Before I've got to get on.
All right, so we'll move on to the big debate.
There was something missing.
Alright, so we put the vote to you about what it is that you wanted us to talk about, and we had a tie. Surprisingly enough, I was quite surprised at this myself. We had, across Facebook and Twitter, exactly the same number of votes for Our Game's Too Big and our top 10 movies. So, me and Steve had a quick talk. Steve said, I'm not bothered which order that we do him in, but we're going to do both. So, we're going to do Our Game's Too Big this time, and then give us a bit more time to think about what are our favourite movies for the next show that we do. So, Steve, A Game's Too Big.
I think it depends what mood you're in. Because I can play games that are huge, I can play games that aren't so big. But with these open world RPGs, they can get big and they can get really big. And I think there's a lot of, we could talk for hours on this though, but there's a lot of do's and don'ts in an RPG like this, or of any type of game that's really big. Yeah. But you can make, then again, the other way is you can look at it, you can make this game as big as you want. Because you don't have to collect every gem, every feather, every diamond that's hidden, every whatever it's going to be that we get in these games. I know we like to get these achievements and we try to do that, but these games do have several playthroughs as well. Yeah. So how do you sort of take this apart, to be honest?
Well, I think that there's 3 ways for a game to be big, to be honest. I think a game can be big in terms of collectibles, as you've hit on.
Yeah.
Because, Ubisoft, you have to, I think, was it, Ubisoft, but Square Enix with Just Cause 2, there was like 2,500 collectibles in that game, which is utterly ridiculous. I mean, and I actually know someone who completed it 100% with all collectibles.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me, folks. I might like Gamerscore, but not that much. So I think that's one way of talking about it. I think that the next way is big in actual size, as in map area, which causes different issues. And then I think that the last one is big in terms of how long it takes to complete a game. Because when you are, I can think of a small game that takes a big time to complete, and that's the Skyforce, either the anniversary or Reloaded, because that's a small game. The Skyforce anniversary has
but it's due to the mechanics and how you have to play the game to unlock everything.
Yeah, exactly. So depend upon that games can be of a relatively normal size in terms of like gameplay area, whatever, or really small, but if it depends upon what the mechanic is around that as well. So I think it's really hard to say when a game is big or whether or not a game can ever be too big. I think that there is occasion when you can have games that are just too big, where you just lose the will to live. I mean, I lost the will to live on Skyrim.
Well, I was just about to bring that one up because there's a lot of side quests there that can pop up. But what I think's the benefit of the way that game works is you can go to the menu and you can follow just the story quests.
Yeah.
I know the OCD in some of us will then try and tick off those other quests that are there. But you don't have to do that because you can just follow that. I know this is now going to be depending on level and depending on how the game mechanics work, where if you're level 10 on a third of the way through, that the enemies you kill will match your level so you can carry on playing the game.
Yeah.
Or whether or not you get to that third of the game and like maybe in something like God of War, you may not be strong enough to take out those enemies and you have to go and you're forced in to do those quests.
Well, Assassin's Creed Origins is like that, isn't it?
Yeah. So there are there's those two ways of looking at the game. But I think it's fine. I mean, I think when you look at these games, you know what you're going to expect, and you take it as you will. If you're not a completionist, or you want for one that doesn't complete games, maybe you get 10 hours out of 40 hours, and that you think it's money well spent.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll be interested to see what we're going to see with the new Red Dead, for example.
Yeah.
Because that, as an example, that is going to be a huge game.
It is.
But again, I like with some of these games, I like the way they let you fast travel. Now, the old-fashioned way of clicking on a map. Once you've found somewhere on the map, you can then fast travel. Whether that's you have to pay for that or not is depending on how the mechanics of the game works. But what I liked about Red Dead is you had the train running around the map, and you could get on that train if you wanted to get to another certain part of the game.
Well, that was like the taxis on GTA, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also in Assassin's Creed Syndicate in England, when you're in the UK, going around London, there was a train, wasn't there, going around the boroughs of England, of London, and you could hit there. Obviously, what was clever about in that game is that your actual maps and all the information you needed was on your train.
Yeah.
So that was your base, wasn't it? So that your base was moving, which is different compared to most. Your base actually moved around the map compared to having it in one spot, say in another Assassin's Creed game where you're in a burial chamber somewhere, and that's your hideout. Yeah. So all these make intriguing ways of playing these large games. And I think it helps as well.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of... Because for me, the inherent problem with big in size games means a lot of the time that, someone will turn around and say, we've made... I mean, for example, what was it? We were looking at Call of Duty. So this map is like 1,000 times bigger than Nuketown. Brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. Is there going to be anything in it? Because this is one of the problems I think a lot of games have, is they make a game that's absolutely massive, but you have to travel for like 10 minutes to get somewhere, that you need to do. And to me, this is where a good example of The Division, comes to mind, because there, that was New York. That was a city of New York. That's a massive area. That's not something you're going to run around easily every day. On a 1-to-1 sort of scale. And a lot of the time, you had to go quite a distance. And yes, once you've unlocked the safe houses, you could fast travel. But sometimes you still had a good few minutes of running to get to where you wanted to go. And to me, that is just so poor. If you want to be within like a minute of where you need to get to. And I know that people will say, well, on The Division, you had the little missions that popped up as you were going along. But if I just wanted to get on with a campaign and not worry about all the side missions, I also equally don't want to run for 10 minutes pushing forward on a joystick, which is increasing the time it's taking me to complete the game, and I want to move on to the next one. And I think that this is one of the big problems with a lot of big games nowadays is sparseness. Unless you're going to do North Yorkshire Simulator, which is classified as an ultra-sparse, county, then don't do it. Have stuff so that, there's always something of interest within a reasonable, a minute. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. But when it gets to be 3 or 4 minutes to get to somewhere, then it kind of just ruins the experience a little bit, I think. Unless you do something that's fun in terms of getting you there.
Yeah.
Look, thinking about, for example, 2 of the biggest games available. Well, certainly the 2 biggest games that have the largest space that you can possibly have for a game is No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous. Yeah. Because both of them are a galaxy. One with, 14 quintillion planets? And the other one with something like 400 billion.
Yeah.
You're never, ever going to visit everything in that game. So there's a lot of redundancy put in there, and I know that it's all procedurally generated and it's not really there until you're there, kind of thing. But when you look at No Man's Sky, I think that the main problem with No Man's Sky when it was launched, I'm not saying now, I'm just saying when it was launched, was the fact that you ended up on planets that all more or less looked alike. They all followed very, very similar rules. All right, one planet was white, the next planet was red, but other than that, everything looked the same. Even the randomly generated creatures, you recognise them as a creature coming out of No Man's Sky. And I think that this was the problem, is that the fact that in order to create that variety, it needed to be bolder. And there was a lot of searching about for resources on No Man's Sky and big distances between where you were and where you needed to be. And I think that that's one of the things that took you out of that as an experience in the game. Personal opinion, but,
Well, yeah, it depends. Some of these games grab you. As you know, I'm a great fan of Bethesda games, and for you, then it's not your cup of tea as much.
Yeah.
But I can lose myself in a Fallout game, and I love every minute, and I'll play it to death. In Fallout 3, for example, I in brackets, because it was on the PlayStation, on the Xbox, I got every achievement on that game, and I think I had something like 200 hours on it. Now, for those sort of games for me, that's one of the biggest ones I've done to this date. Obviously, we're not talking a Destiny type of game; it's something completely different. But but for a story-based game with quests, I hammered the hell out of that.
Yeah, and you got so much out of it, and that's fine. That's great. That's why you get games, isn't it? Basically.
I'll be interested to look at No Man's Sky on Xbox. Must admit,
yeah,
I am very tempted to see it on there.
Well, if you look at it on the PlayStation, it'll look exactly the same on the Xbox.
Exactly, but I'm just thinking because trophies don't mean much to me in PlayStation world compared to what they do on the Xbox, and I think I'll be more happier there playing it. It's just a
console choice for a multi-platform game.
Exactly, yeah. as we've discussed this many times. But yeah, you'd be interested to see with the new, see all the new stuff that's coming out with it. I have played a little bit on there, but yeah, no, I think I mean, I think the other one. I'm trying to think of all the biggest, these big not necessarily an RPG, but these sort of these big worlds that we've lived.
Well,
in.
Look at GTA 5.
Yeah,
I mean that has so much to do in it. You can fly around, you can drive around, you can go on boats, you can go on jet skis, you can go under the water, you can play golf, you can go to a strip club and have a lap dance.
I mean, I again, that was another game I finished the story in. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
See, for me, what happened with that game was it was so vast in terms of what you could do in that. I got lost in terms of...
It's easily done as well. You've got to think of a different way of playing the game.
Yeah, I know, and you've got to be more disciplined, but to be honest, it was a little bit like a magpie with, shiny thing, I'll go over there, and forgot about the story, and then got so lost in terms of everything else that I'd done. When I went back to the story, I thought, I'm fed up of playing this game now. And that was it.
So GTA 5, what was the one set in the 80s? I did that. I completed that one as well. Vice City. Red Dead I've completed.
Yeah, not done that one either.
And I thoroughly enjoyed them. And maybe we were not so privileged to have as many games out as we do today, as we did back then. But we had all the Fable games. There's another example there.
Yeah.
Completed every one of those.
Yeah, me too.
But they weren't as long, were they? They didn't have, I suppose, didn't have as much in the world.
30 hours.
But yeah, you still did. So, do you prefer a 30 to 40 to then compare to a 60-hour game?
I think it really does depend upon the game. I mean, don't forget, you and me were both thousands of hours on Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, and me with Elite, I think that in terms of all of the different iterations of Elite that there's been, from the original 84 version right the way through Frontier and Frontier 2 and then Elite Dangerous and then Elite Dangerous Horizons, I must have tens of thousands of hours on that game, to be honest.
Yeah.
On that lot of games. So, but to be honest, playing Elite Dangerous is a bit different to playing a game like GTA, because my preferred option for playing Elite Dangerous would be on the PC, because obviously you get the stick, the keyboard and that, and it makes it a better experience. But also, I've gone from playing it on 3 screens to just back to playing it on 1, but then I'll have a TV program on the other. So if I decide one day, I'm going to go to Hutton Orbital, which is like the run you've got to do at some point, in your Elite Dangerous gaming career, because it takes you an hour from the hyperspace jumping point to Hutton Orbital to get there. It's more of a battle of will to do it. Do you know what I mean? I can just sit and watch TV while I'm flying there, and if I get attacked, then I can just straight back in the game. Not that you ever do get attacked on the way at Hutton Orbital, but you know what I mean. So that's entirely sort of different, and there that one's got different missions that are procedurally generated and quite random in terms of where you want to go. The passenger missions, again, very similar in terms of they've opened up the universe a lot more there, but there's lots of options of how you want to approach that as a big open universe game. Many more options than there were with the original No Man's Sky, because you can be a pirate, you can be a trader, you can be a bounty hunter, you can be an explorer, you can get involved in the politics of the game in terms of playing with other players to as some players do, to destabilize the government in certain areas of the game. It is possible to do if you do it in coercion with other people, or you can get involved in the community rewards that are missions that are available. You can get involved with fractions. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do in there, which keeps the game fresh, but it's not for everybody, because there you have to be very disciplined in terms of setting your own targets, because the game, what it does is it says, there's a spaceship. That's it. That's all the game does.
Yeah.
So, you know, and in terms of that, I mean, don't forget, on that game, I spent 24 hours travelling to somewhere, and that was 24 hours real time, you know, to get to the other side of the universe in that game, because it's, you know, the speeds, everything's a 1-to-1 scale.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, and that's probably the best example of the biggest game that I've travelled a long way, other than No Man's Sky. But in terms of big because of collectibles, this just feels a bit more like padding out a game to make your experience last a bit longer. And is a bit more of a false sort of thing, because it's very rare that these things actually ever, you know, are linked to the story in terms of collectibles. I mean, I know that, you know, like the one that is the most touted about, which is the collecting 100 feathers in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
And by the time you'd done that, you'd completed the rest of the game. So when you got the Cape Auditory, it kind of made it a bit pointless even having it. But there was an achievement tied to getting the 100 feathers and then getting a cape and visiting each city.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the problem is if they do too many, you just lose the will to live. So, you know, when you start talking about hundreds of things, I think that's where they really need to say, I think we need to wheel it back a little bit.
Well, again, it's all about discipline, to be honest with you, in these games.
But do you really want to sit there and go through hundreds and hundreds of searchable collectibles?
Probably don't sometimes. It just depends, and have they got any use for them? Is there a mechanic in the game that's going to give it to you that if you need them to get something else in the game? Very rarely
it happens, though, isn't it? It's just more. I mean, look at Shadows of Mordor and Shadow of War. Both of those have lots of collectibles, which, to be honest, have no real use other than listening to a little narration, which gives you a bit of the Tolkien story-esque sort of description about the item.
Yeah.
But again, that's another example of one of those games that it doesn't have as many collectibles. I think that it's more of a reasonable number, 50, 60, something like that. But it's still an awful lot to go about and collect because the maps are large.
Yeah.
But you can do fast travel. But again, that fast travel system's not perfect because you can still have quite a bit of running. But I suppose you can summon a beast and ride that to get there a bit faster and stuff like that, or a dragon.
Yeah.
Certainly on the second one you can do that.
True.
Have you actually tried that? Because you downloaded it, didn't you?
I haven't had a chance to yet. Because when I went to first look last time, I think Xbox Live was down. So, again, we got so many games to play. I think we all got to be a bit disciplined sometimes on that.
Yeah. So what about time to complete then? I
don't give myself a time. It depends how engrossed I am in the game. If the game's going to grab me by all the hooks, I will probably play it to the end, the same way that Fallout did.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm a bit more disciplined and think, well, I do like to just play other games, so I might put it down and do something else. But then you have that problem of going back and thinking, where was I? What was I doing? What have I got? How do I play this game? What button do I push to do this? What button do I get to push that?
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm going through that exact same pain barrier because I've gone back to Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Haven't you completed that yet? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. And the DLC was pretty cool.
I know, and I've got the season pass for it.
Yeah. It's really good.
So that's why it's been one of those ones, especially since watching the Lara Croft movie, I've wanted to go back to. So I finally did boot it up and I was playing it and I was thinking, I remember being stuck here, not knowing what to do, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, that is so frustrating when you get that. But, I mean, in terms of the time to complete, I think that generally speaking, the bigger the game is, normally the bigger the things in terms of collectibles and the actual physical size of the locations that you're exploring. Yeah. They all seem to go sort of hand in hand. And I think if you've got a game that's a long time to complete, in order to complete that game, you've got a lot of factors that have got to go in its favour. It's got to be a compelling story. It's got to have something that's going to drive you to keep going and not get too distracted. You know, you could, in theory, with Skyrim, do quests forever because they're randomly generated, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and you could play the game forever.
Yeah, and you could maybe never complete the story. You know, if you just kept doing the side quests.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, the games have got to be really carefully balanced in terms of how they knit together all of those features, so that, you know, they don't make it feel like you've got obsessive compulsive disorder because you're collecting every feather, and they don't make it so that trying to get anywhere feels like a chore.
No.
But the narrative of the story drives you through.
True.
That's my opinion. But
yeah. But yeah, it's there's so much in these games now that it's just very daunting, and it puts people off, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think is the ideal length of a game?
It doesn't matter if it's a game I'm going to really enjoy. Then, to be honest, I could be playing that for 40 hours and I'll do it. But if I'm not enjoying the game as much and it's not floating my boat, then it won't get finished.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, there's so much around nowadays that, you know, every game's in competition with another one, isn't it?
Oh, it is all the time. And when you've got games like this Detroit Become Human, I mean, I don't think it's that big. But you see, this is not really an open world game. It's not like it's got a map. But some of the games in that sort of style can take a long time.
Yeah, they can.
I'm not sure about the other two that there is that I've got to play, but look at maybe it wasn't really an open world, but look at Persona 5. Fantastic game.
And that was 100 hours plus.
Exactly. Yeah, I did at least that.
Yeah.
And because the game grabbed me in the right place, shall we say, and I'm on a second playthrough, and I love the music that much that I listen to that as well. Some games just take you over.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because the developer has grabbed you by the goolies, and you know you've just looked for the story, how the mechanics of the game work, how this and how that. It just clicks with you, and it's, you know.
So I know that there's, you know, that you've said that it depends on the game, but let's just say as a rule of thumb, yeah. What's the minimum length you think a game should be if it's a big AAA in terms of time to complete?
As an open world game, yeah?
Well, as any sort of game. It doesn't have to be open world, but, you know, if you were to buy a game, what would be the minimum time you would expect?
I couldn't put it on there. Do you know why?
Right.
Because if there was a game that I thoroughly enjoyed and it was 7 hours long, that would be 7 hours not long enough. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but in that case then, if it's only 7 hours long but you thoroughly enjoyed it, then therefore they should have made it 15 hours or 20 hours or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm trying to think. I can't remember my time for Tomb Raider. I didn't want that game to end. It did, obviously, at some point, and I slowed down a bit. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And then when the DLC came out, I went back to that straight away, and it's fantastic. And I can't wait for the new one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, which is one of the reasons why I want to complete the last one.
Yeah, because actually Camilla Luddington that did the mocap for the others is doing it for that one as well. I saw some screenshots of her on Instagram in her mocap suit. She looks well. And she does it great. Yeah. You know, fantastic.
So, I mean, for me, I think a AAA game, I think I feel a bit cheated even if I've enjoyed it, if it's any less than 8 hours, if it's a full-priced one. So, The Order.
People moan, don't they, when they're not long enough?
Yeah.
People. I mean, I would say The Order, what was that, 6-7 hours?
Yeah. But for me, it was 6 or 7 hours spread over about 3 years.
Yeah, but was it too? Was that? I mean, you probably then thought, I really enjoyed that. Why didn't I do it sooner? That's what you always come up with.
To me, it played, I felt, almost exactly like Gears of War, but in Victorian steampunk England.
Yeah.
And that's how I would describe it to anybody who asked, to be honest. It's kind of like that. But to me, because I'd been playing it over such a prolonged period, it felt like a lot longer game. I think if I'd have sat down and done the whole thing all in one go, I would have been a bit peed off.
Yeah.
But there was something about that game. I liked it, but it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. To me, I think that an average AAA big open world game needs to be at least 30 to 40 hours. But I think anything that's above 60 hours, you've got to be talking about something that's truly exceptional.
Well, in the role of Bethesda games and Rockstar games, I think I don't mind them being as long as they are. I really don't.
Yeah,
because they put years into these games. It's not like they're bringing out a game for every 2 years.
Yeah.
If you get 90 hours in Fallout, because you want to see more of the world than just the story, then all well and good.
Yeah.
But then again, you're going to get a game like Call of Duty that their story of old of being 6 hours long. That was quick. That wasn't long enough.
I enjoyed the stories though. But yeah, but I never paid full price for those either.
No, but what I'm saying is that people get games like that and they crash them out in 3 or 4 days and think, oh, is that it?
But we've all been there, haven't
we? We have. Oh, 50 quid for that? Jesus. You want your money's worth.
Definitely.
So
anyway, should we do listener views? So
yeah, we start racking them out.
Paul Wilson's put, excellent debate. Do you ever feel a sense of anxiety when playing larger games due to the available time to play with other titles in your collection has been unfinished, plus pending forthcoming releases? It does start to feel a backlog of need-to-dos, leading to an almost point of experiencing feeling daunted. I think I agree with that.
It becomes a job, doesn't it?
And with the gaming industry worth billions, do you feel that gamers, we have never had it so good, multi-platform, vast choice, large games to sink into? I think, again, I think you're spot on there. Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And have you ever managed to buy a new game, finish it, and then only to buy a new game? Have you ever recently managed to buy a new game and finish it and only then buy a new game? I did that with Fallout 5. Because I don't know why, but that one really hit the buttons for me.
You mean 4?
No, 5. Not Fallout 5, sorry. Far Cry 5.
There we
Far
go.
Cry 5, yeah.
I knew you were something wrong.
Yeah, there was something wrong. It was just a wrong title. It began with an F, though, and it had an A in it.
Yeah.
Nikki, do you want to do Nikki?
Yeah. So, yes, they seem to be making games long open world, even if the story isn't. So most of the world games start great. Then there's loads of fetch quests, ruins and places, and main of the story to deal with. Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, can't remember anything about the trials near the start. And Assassin's Creed Oranges do have to do the side quests and level up the main quest, which you probably do. And he prefers a great 3 to 5 hour game with replayability. Again, this is down to time and what you're looking to play.
Yeah. I mean,
if you want to stretch a game out, as you say, for 24 hours, you're going to play it once.
I mean, that's why I quite like Skyforce, the Skyforce Reloaded and Anniversary games, because when I was playing them the most, I didn't have a lot of time, so it was like something I could pick up, but there was lots of replayability, and that lasted for hours.
But again, as well as Nicky myself, he's finished Persona 5, and he thoroughly enjoyed it, and he was playing that for about 80, 90 hours.
So
again, it's what grabs it. It's what grabs you, isn't it? I mean, Fable, I'll be all over that, and Fallout, I'll be all over that. Interesting to see what Fallout 76 is going to be. We know we got rumours about it, but
well, we'll see, won't we? Craig Cole,
Crazy.
has said, I really like big video games. Ultimate Play game's my favourite. The cases were so cool compared to the normal, well worth the extra £2. I think he's referring back to the old 8-bit games there. Yeah, but to be honest, I think there's very few games from the 8-bit era that lasted forever. For like nowadays, very few examples. I think the reason why they lasted so long was because we were kids and that was all that we could afford or all we got.
Yeah,
so you ended up playing them over and over again. Do you want to do Alan?
Yeah, so rather than a game was massive like The Witcher or Skyrim, games like The Order 1886 seem a waste of money. But if you enjoyed the Order and you got 6 or 7 hours out of it, do you think wouldn't that not be a waste of money?
Yeah, I think it goes down to if you've enjoyed it, then it isn't a waste of money. But I know what he's saying is you feel like while you've enjoyed it, it's cost you more for less.
Yeah. Well, it's one franchise, we've been chatting about this, and it's one franchise none of us have mentioned. And one of my favourite franchises, which could be getting another game, which has been mentioned, contrary to some people believing it isn't, but there is rumours of another Bioshock to be made.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic franchise that is.
I thought that had been confirmed that they were actually going to be making another Bioshock.
I think there's a part of 2K itself, wasn't it, that was in the deal with it? I think I can't remember now. But anyway, but again, if open world as open world can be, because you can bounce around the worlds before you get to the end of the game. Yeah. Loved every minute of those games, and I'm again probably putting 30 hours on each of those games. Fantastic.
Yeah. And in a matter of fact, I think Bioshock 2 was the first game that I had, or first game on the 360 era that I had collected all of the collectibles, honestly, without using a map or an online guide or anything like that.
What, for all the audios?
Yeah, all the audio tapes. Yeah. I just found them all.
You were in the right place, and there it is. Again, you go, again, this is what you do, and you're going to clear out every room and eventually come across them all.
Yeah, eventually.
More than not. Yeah.
Although sometimes you seem to look at the same thing over and over again, and one day I say, I didn't notice that was there.
No, you do sometimes, yeah. I know what you mean.
Anyway, should we draw that debate to a conclusion?
Yep.
Not sure whether or not we've actually really decided anything much there, but a good talk.
But we had a chat anyway.
So we'll move on to the listener questions.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so this is last bit. We've got a few questions, not too many, but we'll start off with Mark as normal. And he's asking, what makes a good E3 presentation? Is it about games, tech, or can a good speaker make an otherwise average show sparkle?
Well, I think in most cases and how these companies are working at the moment, they've got to give you games. Yeah. The tech is already there, but what people want to see is games. And some, shall we say, occasionally have made the mistake in how they deal with that. Yeah. But I think it depends on what you've got to show in a conference. If you've got a lot of things to show, I know you make it a bit longer, but I think you've got to come out guns blazing with those games, and then bring other things. Don't start with tech sometimes, because gamers are a bit of a moany bunch at best of times.
Yeah, because we don't want to know what what we play it on is almost a secondary thing. It's what we're going to play.
Yeah. And also, what we're going to play is going to be playing in the next 6 months, not in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they both should curb their anticipation of a game and save it. The same way that Bethesda will say, here's Fallout 4. And it's out November.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think Bethesda are the best way to show you how to bring a game out. Don't keep dribbling bits of information. We hear about it on the internet. We don't need to see too much. Mm-hmm. But we all know something's being made, and then just show us it and say, yeah, it's out this summer or whatever.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think that 6 months is the furthest that they should be advertising stuff that's coming out.
They can tease games coming in the next year maybe and show you some little trailers, but then leave it at that. Don't go into too much detail. Just leave it with that. Don't start trying to, just whet their appetite and leave it at that, and then, come back to it in 2 years or whatever.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, if it's coming out in 2 years, I don't want to know. It's too far ahead. I might be dead. I
know exactly. I might not last that long. And we've seen that with Death Stranding, for example. That's been, and then for Xbox, we've seen Crackdown. And the way that story's progressed, which is coming out, which will be coming out actually, and it's not going to be delayed as it was. Some people said, get your facts right. Don't jump. Well, I say don't start going with the masses on some sort of tweet.
Yeah, we should. Because we should have maybe said that in the news, shouldn't we? About there was rumours that Crackdown was going to be delayed again. However, it has been transpired because what happened was that was it Amazon Spain had cancelled.
It was one of them, wasn't it? Yeah,
had cancelled some pre-orders of Crackdown, but Microsoft has gone on the record and saying that it was actually some sort of error in behalf of Amazon, and Crackdown is still very much alive and kicking.
Isn't it funny? It's like when we get these Facebook things where it says so and so's just died, and you'll jump on that bandwagon and they find out it was a hoax.
Yeah, no, I do think people need to not be so fanboyish and start thinking, ha, look at what's happened, and actually just get the facts before you actually start doing anything. And do you know what? It might be. Maybe in reality they are actually looking at cancelling it for all we know, but based on what we know right now and what has been reported, that whole thing has been debunked by Microsoft. So and they're gonna well, who knows? But yeah, it's bad I hate it when people just jump on a bandwagon like that. It's just pathetic.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to do Mark's second one?
Yeah, so what is your preferred channel for watching the keynotes?
Well, for Microsoft, the Microsoft one.
Yeah, and for PlayStation, mind you, if I'm awake at 2 a.m. in the morning, which you probably won't be. But then again, that'd be YouTube later.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that at the time.
But I would be using Mixer in some shape or form.
We've got to, haven't you?
Well, God, this time tomorrow, it'd be all over probably, 45, 50 minutes.
This time next week, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, well, for Microsoft anyway, but yeah.
And hopefully we're going to be sat there as Xbox owners and very happy.
Yeah.
I do think it's quite a critical one for Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
The Switch is catching up the Xbox fast. They need to be, they've got the strongest console. They now need to show that they've got the strongest games lineup. And whether or not that's going to happen or not, I don't know.
True.
Okay, so shall we move on to Facebook then? And we've had a few from Paul Wilson as well, so thank you, Paul.
Is this the Paul Wilson show?
Yeah, this is a Paul Wilson show. So what's the length, the ideal optimum length for a game to take to complete the main story? Well, I think that
we've already talked about that.
So about minimum 7-8 hours, ideal about 40.
And up to 90.
Yeah, if it's an exceptional game. It's all down to the game at the end of the day. So, second question from Paul is, based on the average gaming per week, how many weeks, months, or even years of gameplay is there left in your pile of shame that's uncompleted?
I'm not even... Well, personally, there's loads. For you, there's like a lifetime.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm actually just having a look at Steam left, just to see, in terms of my PC, how much time just on those games is left. And it's saying it can't actually find me as a user. That's helpful, isn't it? I think that the last time that I looked on there, it was about 10,000 hours or something.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's just on the PC, and it's since then my collection's grown. So, probably a lot of games that I'm never going to complete, to be fair. Do you want to do Paul's next one?
Yeah, so do you think text adventure style games could even make a comeback? Do you play such games such as The Hobbit and the ZX Spectrum or something similar? Not a chance in hell for these days for those. I do like retro games, but that's just going a little bit too far for me.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a few shows ago, didn't we? I mean, you can still play text adventures. You know, there's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy one that's on a website somewhere. I can't remember where, BBC website or something. But for me, I did used to like those games, but I don't have any wish to play them anymore because I think as they got more complicated as well, they became very abstract in their thoughts for actually doing anything. I mean, I played The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. You know, a bit of Zork as well, if you remember that on a 64.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't think. I think they were a good genre, but I think that they've had the day. Having said that, though, records came back, so who knows?
Yeah, but it's how you play these things, isn't it?
It is. So, Paul's next question on the Paul Wilson Show is: do you think programmer Matthew Smith of Manic Miner Jet Set Willy fame would ever be mentioned in the Queen's Honours list?
Not a cat's answer. Not a cat's chance of that.
No, David Braben was though, wasn't he?
Was he?
Sure that he was something for service to video games or whatever.
So while you're ticking away,
yeah, David Braben, OBE.
Okay, there you go.
So it does happen for video gamers or video game programmers, but whether or not it will happen to him, I know what you're saying though, because Manic Miner, classic game, and as was Jet Set Willy, used to play both of them, but I don't think that they would personally.
No. Okay, shall I go to the next one? So, when the very sad day finally falls upon us, and we hear it on the sad news that Sir Clive Sinclair has sadly passed away.
He hasn't, by the way, but...
No, we just said lawyers, to be honest, like a shot. Would it only be fair for the gamers in the UK should hold a minute's silence, including for the ex-Commodore and Atari owners?
I think a lot of people nowadays would probably go, who? Because they wouldn't know.
Yeah, no,
but I mean, he was a big icon for the 80s, wasn't he, with Sir Clive Sinclair?
Yeah, he did love his bike.
The C5. I want to know what happened to the C1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Prequels.
Yeah. But presumably there must have been 4 other designs. But I mean, he was a visionary, was that guy?
Yeah. Do you think you could see, like we're seeing a lot of these mini systems coming out? Now you've got the Sega one, for example, just at the moment coming out. Do you ever see an Atari one, something like that? Maybe. I know we're going to see a new Atari at some point.
Well, I'm not sure whether or not that new console from Atari is supposed to be a retro game machine or
I don't think it is.
Brand new
but
console.
What I'm saying, do you think you'd like to see for example, see a little mini design of an ST, and you can play a load of little ST games on it or something? Do you think you'd ever play that?
No, I don't think I would. I think I'm over my retro gaming thing now. You know, I think I've gone through that time. I want to look forward now. Personally, there are still games that, you know, historically that hold near and dear to my heart. But in terms of, do I want to play them anymore? No. What about yourself?
If I'm in the mood to, I've got an Xbox there that can play something similar.
That's hardly retro.
What do you mean, Sonic? That's retro enough, isn't it?
Play Sonic on the Xbox One. But no, I mean, you know, so I was thinking it just meant backward compatible sort of thing there. But yeah, well, I mean, all of those classics.
I love playing Space Invaders and Asteroids.
Yeah,
because you can play those still.
Yeah, but you can go to a website and play those, can't you?
Yeah, but you know, whatever. Anyway.
Nikki has asked, do you think Xbox are going to announce loads of exclusive games at E3 or save them for the next Xbox console? I don't think there's going to be a next Xbox console for a while, Nikki.
No. I don't think anyone's thinking about that. All we think about is getting the good games on this fantastic machine they got already.
Yeah. I think we're going to see, I'm hoping we're going to see a good selection of games from Xbox this time. I don't think it's going to be masses. I don't think it's going to be like the Sony, stable will be. But hopefully there'll be enough there that'll keep us interested, and I'm sure there'll be some surprises.
True, yeah.
So, what about yourself?
Yeah, no, there's no chance for console for a while. I know we're on the second half of the set of this generation at the moment, but it's going to be they've got enough power in that machine to give us loads of games for a few years.
Yeah, 2021.
So,
I reckon it'll be
exactly
a good time for him. I think, if anything, what we'll be more likely to see, as I said in the E3 special, is a PlayStation revision. A Pro Plus.
Yeah, may well do. We'll see.
Or a Pro Slim or whatever.
We got some fantastic looking games on these consoles at the moment.
I'm in no rush to get a new console.
I don't really want one at all.
No, I'm in a rush to get a Nvidia graphics card, but I want a better one. But not at the moment, can't afford it. So,
okay.
Next question.
Should I do? Yes. So he said, well, another one we probably covered. Why did Salo do so badly at the box office? I liked it.
Yeah, I think that people get... I think it's as... there have been some people who've boycotted that as a movie to make a point, and I think they've chosen a wrong one to do it with, because that was actually one of the good ones. Yeah. No, it ticked a few boxes for a few Star Wars fans that were into Han Solo. Then maybe a Kenobi film will do even better, depending on but it ticks boxes for fans of Kenobi. So they're niche movies. If you're not you might like Star Wars, but maybe not the biggest Han Solo fan in the world, then you may not. Yeah. Why not a bit of a different movie? Could be a bit more political, as it were. But why not have a Mon Mothma movie as a founder of the rebellion?
But there's all sorts you could do, isn't there? You could have
Admiral Akbar movie.
All sorts, or even some of the darker characters. I mean, there'd be a Yoda movie, maybe. He's got a load of backlog of history.
He was 1,000-year old.
Yeah, so you could have all sorts.
What about a Chewie movie about how events after the Battle of Kashyyyk or before the Battle of Kashyyyk? That was the invasion of the Wookiee. At the end of the day, by the way.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's down to the story, and if you can get a good story out, all well and good. If not, don't milk it. Yeah. Please.
Don't have a Mary Sue, and don't have Ryan Johnson.
No. Anyway, you're the next question. It's for you anyway, not me.
Well, no, it's not for me because this is Haydn with an E, so it presumably means Haydn Panettiere from Heroes. But does Haydn get sick of playing rubbish games just for achievements? I would say don't play rubbish games just for achievements, or play games.
Just for achievements?
No, play games. What I would say is, do you get sick of being number 2 on your achievement list?
Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
No, I wasn't asking you. I was asking Paul.
Oh, okay. Anyway, to finish the show off then with Craig.
Okay.
Do you think, or when do you think we get a completely new controller for gaming? Something to beat mouse and keyboard like a gamepad. Maybe motion controls will return. Just out of all the innovations in game we've had, the collection seems a bit safe at the moment. I haven't tried the Rift yet, as in obviously an Oculus. Well, we've had recently something for gamers that have got a slight disability with their hands, for example.
Well, more than a slight disability, it can be severe.
Depending on your disability of your hands.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the new Microsoft disability controls. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, when I went to Insomnia, there was a charity that was there that were showing equipment that they'd used, and it looked very similar to some of the stuff that Microsoft has produced. Not all of it, but some of it.
I mean, going back to the mouse and keyboard support is coming to the Xbox One X.
Yeah, well,
in what shape or form that is going to be, I haven't got a Scoobies, but that would then put you on par, theoretically, with playing against PC players.
In theory, yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, I mean, what...
Just depends on your gameplay style and where you sit and play games. If you're at a desk and you've got a mouse and keyboard there, then that will be rocking for you. But if you're on a couch and you've got a controller in your hand, that's the way you play it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Valve tried to do something brave with the Steam controller.
failed, didn't it?
It did fail, but it doesn't mean it's not a good controller.
No. I mean, but then again, I've got the Duke, and that's not for every game in the world.
No, but that's a retro.
It's alright, yeah, but so's the mouse and keyboard retro, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah, but mouse is, your mouse is has changed over the years. Not that in terms of.
Or it's like you got the old the little the stick with the cut and shoot buttons on a square piece, that you used to hold and used to.
Yeah, like
back in the days,
the old Thrustmasters.
Yeah, or what remember in Ready Player One, we was playing an adventure.
Yeah,
You know?
arcade sticks and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, maybe these are the pinnacle of design in terms of for us.
But we've seen Kinect and stuff like that come out, and then all right, some may say it failed. I think it wasn't really much of a fail, but it was a transitional period that Microsoft went through.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we've had all these innovations with Oculus and whatever else is to come in line with that now. So yeah, there's probably going to be more days when we're not around. There's going to be a load more types of controllers in the future that we may never hear or see of. But
I think it's going to be more the haptic feedback. To be honest, it will innovate more.
Well, yeah, it's like, would you like to wear a bodysuit with your Xbox so when you get shot, you feel it where it hits you?
I don't think it's going to be so much that. I think it's going to be more, maybe the seating technology that we have that will do stuff.
What, like D-Box for movies?
Yeah. I think it could be, and I think that this has happened in some, for some technology as well, certainly on the PC, which is, feedback motors built into your seat.
Do you think you'd want a rumble chair?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be one of the next things that we see.
I mean, going back in the day when I saw the movie Earthquake in the Stain cinema at the time, when I saw it there, you had a rumble chair for the Earthquake.
Yeah.
It's not old. It's not old technology. It's been used before.
No, exactly. So I think it's, but they're optional extras and not required to have. I think that, to be honest, controllers, when you consider the old joysticks that we used to have, controllers are so much better. Although it did take quite a while for me to accept that. Controllers are so much better, and we're so adept at using them nowadays. I can't see people wanting to change it too much, and I think that a lot of change in those areas will, like the Steam controller, be met with a lot of scepticism. I think that Sony made a very bold move by putting a trackpad on there, and I would say that the acceptance of that as a device is probably. As the trackpad, not the controller itself, but I think is probably shows in the games of how few games actually support it. They might as well have just stuck two buttons there and made the controller cheaper because it's not adapted. But they've innovated on that. They've taken what Nintendo did and put the speaker in the controller. And that's another
good idea.
Yeah, that's another underused, and to be honest, a bit pointless when you've actually got headphones on.
Yeah, true. Anyway,
so I think that that's it then, isn't it, for another show?
Yeah.
So we'll just do the normal outros. So, Steve, do you want to say your contact details?
So, Twitter @Steve007, PSN the real Steve007, Xbox Steve007. Email steve07@popculturegamers.co.uk, and yourself is
YouTube's Haydn Reese Jones, Twitter's HRJUK, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Battle.net, whatever, HRJUK. Facebook group is there as well. You can just search, go to Facebook and type in Pop Culture Gamers. Also, if you've got an inquiry for the show, you can email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk, and our website is popculturegamers.podbean.com, and there's no www at the beginning. And that's it for another show, episode 11, down and done.
Yes.
So, thank you for coming, Steve, for another show.
I know we don't say it enough to each other, but that's cool. So we might miss a week.
We might do,
or may bring you something out midweek, depending on how our personal lives are doing.
And otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks, but we'll try and get something out, I think. But it all depends on...
Just some reaction.
Yeah, it depends on schedules. Might be able to get a reaction to the Microsoft one on Monday night, who knows. Even if it's just a short hour show or something like that. So, in that case then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.